Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh man. So I was pondering things to talk about in this week's live stream, and it got me thinking that you know what, this is probably going to be a pretty heavy episode if that's the only focal point of the live stream. So I'm gonna touch on some topics, popular things in the news right now because I have to. I mean, I think would be ill advised not to at least mention the things, that are going on in the world. But with every episode that I make, every live video, every regular video, every short video, I try to make things as fun and whimsical as possible, right? So the viewers can have something to enjoy. And let's be honest, man. Are you more likely to gravitate towards that positive thinking person, or are you going to be gravitating towards a person that's always negative and sees things in a dark manner, right? So that's how I kind of treat my channel. I want it to be a very light, family oriented type of channel that people could come to. Bring your kids to watch the shows I have because I have so much of a collection wise, right? It's a little museum that I built. So there are times that, yes, based on certain videos, certain clips I might come across, I might need to speak up about certain things, but I don't think I'm going to go too in depth with today's episode. So, with that being said, I really don't have a whole lot to talk about this week. And if you guys have anything of a discussion, please feel free to chime in and let me know what you're interested in discussing. Hey, Rick, I see you, buddy. Rick, man, I saw that video with the what was it, the NWA brown belt. Man, that thing was beautiful. I looked at that, I'm like, dude, did you seriously get yourself a legitimate, authentic heavyweight championship belt? Um, I know customizers out there do fantastic work when it comes to replicating these heavyweight belts. And I've thought about getting the 1984 Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, Bob Backlund, etc. type green belt, but I know who was it? Not Rick Martel. I know Tito Santana when he was Intercontinental Champion, he had like a really nice green championship belt. So I kind of feel like that stuff right there would kind of fly over my head as to is it heavyweight or is it Intercontinental? So that's kind of I don't want to do that again, right? I kind of reflect back on childhood and I look at those white foam belts that had the World Heavyweight Champion, emblem in the middle, and then the two side plates, right? And because we as kids had two of them, the one that broke, we would use that as Intercontinental, whereas the good belt was heavyweight, right? So, all right, ignore all the man. Irish. I don't know if I could do that, bud. Here's the thing. I like spending a lot of time watching YouTube videos, and you know what? When you're sitting around the house, maybe you're got something on the TV, but you're not really paying attention to it because you're really bored. It's not really holding your much of your interest. And so you'll jump on TikTok, you'll jump on the Facebook, and you'll see all of these different messages, these memes, and it is absolutely killing me. Like I'm trying not to be a downer, but and I'm if you got kids in the room, I suggest getting them out for this episode because I might curse once or twice. I am after all the foul mouth drunkard, so it's bound to happen. But I am livid, man. I am beyond pissed. Like even today, I thought heavily about whether or not I was even going to do a live stream today because I am just so disgusted with the world that we live in. And, recent events are just making it more and more difficult to love life or to live life happily when you are just like so, like I said, so disgusted with the civilization that we've created. And I consider not doing a live stream this week because I didn't want to come on here. I didn't want to be all angry and frustrated and kind of have a dark side that I don't want the world to see, right? And I kind of feel like I'm gonna go off and just start cursing and just be angry. But there are a lot of people that tune into my show every week that look forward to this, and I didn't want to disappoint my viewers. And if we're honest, I mention it every week. This Saturday live stream, this is what I look forward to from my channel more than anything. I love the opportunity to sit here and discuss, have conversations with you guys. And it's not just simply, hey, I post a video and now we're going back and forth in the comment section. At least with the live show, I have the opportunity to actually speak with people, firsthand, whatnot. So that's pretty awesome, right? So I think doing today's live show was as important for me as anything else because this is sort of the pinnacle need or necessity that I have for the week. There's a lot of things that bring me enjoyment, but this is solitude right here. I like being able to converse with the viewers, so that's huge. Hey, Dwayne, what's happening, buddy? Had the gold foam. I didn't have the gold foam, but I do think I bought a brown, or maybe it is gold, but I know I got the brown foam boat downstairs, and I probably bought that on auction from eBay maybe within last year or something. The white foam belts are the ones that hold meaning to me because that's what we had as kids. The other colored foam belts, I mean, they whatever. It was just there, right? I'm not a belt collector, but it was wrestling related. It was partially what I had as a kid, so yeah, it was something I wanted to pick up. But I think it was a heavyweight belt. I don't think it said Intercontinental or any other type of belt. I had that sticker on world title that came in the Ultimate War box. Been defending ever since. Oh, that's classic. Hey, Jordan, what's happening, buddy? Yes. Now, obviously, budget is a big thing, right? So, depending on where you are financially, how much you want to spend, and how often you want to spend that money. I said this a long time ago. I'm not rich, right? And Bone Breaking Action, he made this comment. I'm like, that's brilliant. And the comment he made was, I'm not rich, I'm irresponsible. You guys got to realize for like 20 years, man, I didn't buy anything for myself. And when I came home after I left Iraq with my last job, I basically made myself retire at that time. Well, health wise, made me retired as well, but that's beside the point. It was really the first time I really got the opportunity to start, buying things that I wanted in life. It was all my money that I earned wasn't just simply going to bills. So I went pretty hot and heavy in a lot of different collections all at one time. So depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking in getting in a bunch of different lines, you could try to limit yourself to maybe one line at a time, whereas you're picking up a little bit of the other stuff here and there. The other thing I would say, if you can't limit yourself, if you're going for multiple collections, go for the expensive stuff first. Now, let's say you're going for LJNs. You want to get all of Series 6 LJNs knocked out first because pretty much all of those figures, if you're looking for original figures, they're going to be in the $200 to $600 neighborhood. Yeah, it's sad, but a loose, pretty minty Andre the Giant blackstrap could pretty much go for around $400 to $600. Ultimate Warrior, that's a good $200 to $300, $350 depending on condition, right? So Rick Rude, he's probably like the only one that you might get. Like I lucked out with the original that I bought. I think I got him on auction for like $120. Pretty good condition, very little discrepancy, but generally even Rick Rude's a $200+ figure. Depending on what kind of money you're looking to spend, go for the expensive ones first because you are not going to find the heavy hitters in a big bundle all the time, if ever. Now, if you're going to go for the Bruno Sammartinos and the Jesse Venturas and the Hillbilly Jims and, Hulk Hogan, basically your Series 1, Series 2, a lot of your Series 3 figures, they're going to always be in bundles. And you can get 10, 15, 20 figures in a bundle and probably get them for around $200-$300. Or if you are someone who is looking to acquire only mint or near mint figures, that's something you also have to take in consideration. You could probably get a beat up Big John stud for $10, maybe less even. But if you want a minty or close to it Big John stud, you're probably paying 30 or $40 for it. But I don't think any Series 1 figure should be more than $10, $15. I don't care the condition. It just shows you how common those figures are. So that's obviously a big one. Limit yourself to what you can handle. Go for the more expensive ones first, because if you got $500 to work with, you pay $500 towards this one figure, or you can pay $500 to get these 10 figures. Okay, you might say, well, I'd rather have more bang for my buck, but that's not always the case. Like I said, if you don't care about the most minty figures in the world, you can always get those other figures at a later time for far cheaper individually or as part of a bundle. So that's a big thing right there. Yeah, LJ. I mean, I think we all have to go for the LJNs, man. Like, I didn't even have the LJNs as a kid. The first time I ever even learned about these 8-inch rubber figures was from Netflix. I mean, when the hell did that show come out? The Toys That Made Us. 2018, 2019, something like that. Yeah, maybe I watched it back in like 2019, or maybe I watched it in 2021. I don't know. But I wanted to watch it because I wanted to watch the Ninja Turtles, because childhood toys, right? I also wanted to watch the wrestling portion because, hell, what the hell were these 4-inch plastic toys that we used to have as kids? Finding out that they were made by Hasbro, I'm like, how did I not know that? I mean, when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you don't know who the heck Hasbro is. You're not looking at, but I make the same argument. We always called our Galoob figures Galoob, so we knew that those figures existed on that particular white card back. So we must have paid attention to the name on that. But I'm curious why we never paid attention to the Hasbros, right? But that's something concern. Oh, damn. I'm kind of been putting it off. I didn't know if I was going to drink this today, but it looks like I am. So today we're going with the Appalachian Sippin' Cream. Sippin' Cream. It's only a 40 proof, so it isn't too bad. Strawberry Dream. I thought this was like another moonshine, but is this moonshine? Because all of them that came in this jar are supposed to be moonshine. Oh. I don't think you guys will be able to see it, and I don't want to tilt it over, but oh, that stinks. It looks like strawberry milk. Yeah, it looks like strawberry milk. Does it taste like strawberry milk? That is not good. It's drinkable, just not good. Oh, damn. Yeah. Another thing, guys. I've been talking about these darn drinks forever. The horror Fanta drinks. So, what was it, a week or two ago? My wife, we did a Walmart order, and she ordered all of the Fanta horror drinks. And we got in the yellow box with Michael Myers on it. I believe it was pineapple. Fine. No biggie there. And then we also got a Fanta orange. I think we got a Fanta strawberry. I believe this was supposed to be the strawberry. Or maybe it was the Freddy Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know. I forget. Well, the strawberry came in, the orange came in, and they were just regular Fanta boxes. I'm like, they effed us, man. I don't care about these Fanta drinks. I just want them because of the whole horror aspect of them. So I don't know if my wife ever filed a request for reimbursement or anything on that because it's the wrong product, but whatever. Those cans of pop will just basically sit back for a while. But I finally, after a couple, I didn't drink this last week. I should have drank it last week, and I didn't. doesn't really taste like mountain. Like it says Chucky's Punch, fruit punch, right? But it kind of tastes like was it blackberry or something? Maybe like a like a diet Coke or like a Dr Pepper, not raspberry, yeah, blueberry or something like that. It doesn't take like your prototypical fruit punch. So that right there is actually really really good. Mm. Hey Jordan, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, shoot, I mean that was like what, two things only. I mean, I should have a list of like 20 things to look for. Oh, Jordan, one of the big things that I've always told buyer. Well, basically, this goes towards any buyer. But if you're a new buyer, this might be something to really focus on. Try to look at new sellers. If this guy over here has been selling on eBay since 2001 and they've made 20,000 sales over the years, yeah, they might be a reputable seller, might have very high feedback, might give you the best service in the world, but they're bound to have hundreds, if not thousands, of followers on eBay, right? So if this guy right here is selling a Series 1 Hulk Hogan, let's say, and he puts it up for 99-cent auction with $8 shipping. This guy's brand spanking new. He just created an account last month. He's only made 6 sales. He might have 2 followers, where this guy over here has 1,035 followers. Guess what? That's 1,035 people that could potentially be going up against you to bid on this Hulk Hogan figure. Now, obviously, not every single person is going to be bidding on that, but it just means that there are going to be a whole lot more eyes than ever before. Maybe 10 people are interested in the item from his account. But hey, those 6 followers that he has from the second guy, maybe none of them are looking to buy that Hulk Hogan, right? And that doesn't even include outside sources who aren't following that page. So what that means is this guy on the left could end up charging you $35 for purchase price because all of these people are bidding, where the guy on the right with very little followers maybe has a couple people from the outside that bid on it. Maybe you win it for like $8. So it really behooves most people to buy from new sellers because they're not going to have as much eyes on their product, and therefore it's not going to sell for as much or as hefty as a price. But I mean, I bought enough. Yeah, I've bought enough. That's an understatement. I bought enough from eBay to realize that that might be a true statement, but it's not a golden rule that everybody's going to follow, right? Everyone's going to look at this guy, or in essence, people could look at this guy, but hey, he's a new seller. Nobody's going to be bidding on his stuff. And you're going to have massive bids dropped on that. And maybe he sells it for more than the guy on the left did. So it's not necessarily 100% guaranteed, but more times than not, yes, new sellers will not get as many bids. Therefore, they're not going to sell it for as hefty of a price. Also, if you're looking at like some kind of like thrift stores or like Goodwills, because Goodwill has its own, Goodwill Ohio, Goodwill New York, whatever. They all have their own Facebook, eBay page, right? And they're putting up an auction, and they usually have hundreds, if not thousands, of items going up at once. So if you can actually scroll through what they have, you could probably pick up a good item for a great price there too, because they're just listing so much junk all at one time. But that's another reason why I try to limit how much stuff is on my eBay page. Like I don't enjoy having 100 plus items listed. Like I try to keep my page to about 50 items or less, but I have so much stuff and my stuff doesn't sell, right? So I might have like 200 items on my eBay and I'm like, damn. So I'm constantly like ending auctions, ending listings, relisting them under auction format. Maybe I'll list everything together to see what happens, but that's some of the things to kind of think about. Diabetic here, so I feel you. Yeah, man. Love fruit punch. I mean, fruit punch isn't really my favorite. I look at like like fruit punch Gatorade, man. To me, it's just plain red Kool-Aid. Like it doesn't really do anything for me. Like I like the lime, the lemon lime. Was it lemon lime or is it just lemon? I forget what the hell is the yellow flavor. I want to say lemon, but that just doesn't feel right because lime is green, lemon is yellow. It makes sense, yellow drink. But anyways, the yellow one, the orange flavor is good. Blue is obviously the best. The white Arctic one is good, right? But when you get like Riptide Rush purple and Fruit Punch red, I don't care about those ones. They're very simple and plain. I guess. Dude, all I drink is coffee. No, I can't say that. It depends on what the morning's like. Sometimes I might just simply have a cup of coffee. Sometimes I'll have a bowl of cereal. Sometimes I won't have nothing. It really depends on the situation. Look at this. My baby is online. Hello, Bunky Boo. You guys stay on for a while? Hey, Brady, come upstairs and drink some of this strawberry milk with me. Oh, God, the smell is horrible. I think it's probably been sitting on a shelf for the last couple of years, and I'm just now getting to it. So, but alcohol doesn't go bad, right? But if you're drinking, like, if it really is some kind of condensed strawberry milk, man, oh, God, I'm gonna make myself so darn sick. Mm. Older wrestling is, man, absolutely. Like, I can't watch any modern day wrestling. I tried watching that Monday Night War, like maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago on Netflix. I was freaking bored out of my goddamn mind. First time I've actually watched a live airing of wrestling since about 97, maybe 98 at the latest. So, well over a quarter of a century. And that was my first. I mean, yes, given. While I was on deployment, I did watch the Royal Rumbles, like the 2019 through 2022 or whatever it was, Royal Rumbles. Yeah, I got it. Female Royal Rumbles, which were the best. The male Rumbles were, yeah. But outside of the 2005 or 2008, 2010, 2015, whatever Royal Rumbles that I watched, I don't count those because that's watching them on YouTube. That wasn't really, that's not ordering it and watching it from home, right? So, da, 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 da. Less eyes on a figure. Yep. World Collide last night. It was so awesome. Yeah, Irish. Did I see? No, I didn't. I missed that episode. Actually, I think I'm like a couple episodes behind, so I got to catch up. It used to be that when I get off this live stream, I would go over to the next room behind me and I would have my cell phone out. I would watch your live show during that time. And then I would go back on my big screen TV and have like a secondary episode playing as well. So I'd be like kind of focusing on two things at once. But after my live streams are ending, like I'm drunk and like, I can retain some of it, but like the overall, like if you ask me the next day, hey, what did you watch last night? Shoot. I don't remember. But I like having the phone out because I'm able to sit there and communicate through a live show, which is always awesome. So my wife's birthday is on Wednesday the 17th, and today her father drove down from Indiana to visit us. So we went out to dinner tonight, and I don't think he's staying more than a night though, which sucks. You kind of want to see. He came all this way. You kind of want to see him stay at least 2, 3 days, 4 days, however long. But I think he's only staying for the one day. Another reason why I probably, should have skipped this week's live stream, but like I said, guys, it's something I feel like this I need this as much as anyone else. So, and thank you to my buddy Kirk, man. Like he told me to do short videos, and when it comes to shorts, my argument has always been the same. Let's say I'm doing a review on something, I got a lot to say, so I can either sit down, review an item, and take the 20-25 minutes it takes to film a regular video, or I can make a short video and try and get it done in about as little as 3 minutes. I mean, at one point, YouTube only had 1 minute shorts. They smartened up and they increased it to 3 minutes, which is awesome. But I mean, there's only so much you can say in 3 minutes. So that's why I never really enjoyed doing shorts. The last time I tried putting out shorts every day, they really weren't getting a lot of views. I mean, they weren't bringing in new viewers or anything like that for me. But my buddy Kirk is, he motivated me to like, hey, put out shorts, your view count will shoot up. Cool. So for the last couple of weeks, that's what I've been doing. I've been putting out a new short video every single day. And I think it really helps that I put Holy Grail in the title, because the first items we were looking at were all Holy Grails to me. But man, I was excited about 2025 because like every month I've been averaging about 40 new subs a month. Since I started doing shorts a couple weeks ago, I probably gained like another 220 to 250 new subscribers. Mind blown, right? And I finally got my channel monetized. I mean, I'm only making like $1 a day, maybe less than $1 a day since I got monetized. But the point is, the whole point of getting the monetization was to earn something from YouTube. Make it seem like, what you invested into your account was worth it. So hopefully as the months and years progress, hopefully that number will skyrocket. I know if I stop doing just simply wrestling and like start doing Karen videos and reaction videos, stuff like that, yeah, I could probably start getting thousands of views on videos. I could probably get hundreds, if not thousands of new subscribers, each year or whatnot. I probably not thousands, but I definitely get hundreds of probably new subs on a month-to-month basis. But it's not the sort of type of videos I want to make. Every now and then I'll kind of spur off to that direction where I will make those type of videos, but it's always something, you're always going to say something that somebody else, one of your viewers, one of your subscribers is going to watch, and they're not going to like what you have to say, and there goes that subscription, right? Now, once upon a time, before I hit 1,000, you see all the numbers. So every time I logged into YouTube, I could see if that number goes up or down because I'm paying attention to it. As I was saying at the beginning of this video, before I jump the gun on that, fruit punch, Kool-Aid, the various powdered fruit punches, including the Gatorade Zero, are all good. Like I said, orange and yellow is my favorite. Well, the blue is my favorite, but orange and yellow are most common. Or the Riptide Rush purple and fruit punch red. I didn't like those. Sometimes you get the actual Gatorade bottle. Other times, like on deployment, you'd get the little packages and you just add it to your water bottle. And I'm like, man, especially when you get a box of Riptide Rush, I'm like, I hate purple. Well, I mean, I love purple. I love grape. But the Riptide Rush, that's not grape. I don't know what the hell that's made from, but coffee. Well, I mean, I am a major coffee drinker, but I only really take 1 cup a day because my wife, she buys the K cups, right? And she gets a box of like 60 or a box of 96 or whatever. I mean, they're averaging what, like $1 a cup or something, or close to it. So let's say even 50 cents. So for a box of 60, you're paying $30. I mean, that seems like a lot of money for freaking coffee, especially when the cup is, K cups are yay big, right? Now, every once in a blue moon, I will stop being lazy and I'll make actual pot coffee. But my wife, she might drink 1 cup from there. And if I made like 8 cups in that pot, I'm basically the one drinking all that coffee throughout the day. And shoot, man, even I can't handle it. And I'm a major coffee drinker, right? I love coffee. It's not so much the coffee; it's the creamer. Like I can't sit there and just drink plain black coffee or throw sugar in it. Maybe drink coffee. I mean, if I'm like at a dentist office or doctor's office and they don't have any powdered or liquid creamer, then yeah, I'll drink it as is. But it's the creamer that makes all the difference in the world, right? So, all right. Do you have a favorite tag team of all time? I'm kind of torn. So, like, for a good chunk of my life, I've always said Legion of Doom. And I will probably go to my grave claiming that Legion of Doom is my favorite. I'll probably always stand by that. But the Rockers to me, as when I was a kid, even to this day, I always reflect back on the Rockers fondly. I mean, this was a tag team that was practically highlighting every single major pay per view. They were always winning. They were just the way that they worked in tandem with one another, in and out. It wasn't one person staying in for 20 minutes, tags his partner in, partner comes in for 2 minutes, tags back his other partner. No, in and out. The way that they operated were perfect. They were a perfect group. But Legion of Doom were such a badasses, man. They were like think of like Zeus from No Holds Barred. That kind of like that intimidating force. That's how I think of Legion of Doom. They were like this very bulky, intimidating group. I love the spikes and everything. So I love the look and the face paint of Legion of Doom. And they were dynamite. You put a team like Bushwhackers up against natural disasters, you're not going to do anything. Rockers, a dynamic team, they couldn't do anything against natural disasters, or let's say you had the Twin Towers out there. Big, bulky, big boss man with Akeem. You think those small groups could do anything against those big, heavy hitters? No. But Legion of Doom, they always gave you that force that made it seem like, yeah, they could do anything. So Legion of Doom will always be my number one, but very small fraction points behind them. I would say Rockers would easily be number two. Now, how would I continue that? Like, if I were to give a Rushmore of top four, or hey, what's your top five, top 10? I don't know if I could do a top 10. As far as a top four, top five, top six, I know natural disasters would definitely be on that list. I know Nasty Boys would be on that list. Bushwhackers, I mean, I liked them as a kid, but I can't really stand them, not really as an adult. So, I mean, and they weren't really the most intimidating force in wrestling to me. So I like the Bushwhackers, but like I would never classify them anywhere near my list of favorites. So Heart Foundation, yeah, we could put we definitely have to put Heart Foundation on there. Anything that includes Bret Hart is basically going to be on that list. Greatest Intercontinental Champions, greatest heavyweight champions, greatest tag team. Yeah, Bret Hart's name is all over those. So I'd probably go with Heart Foundation and Natural Disasters to close out the top four. Money Inc. because I love Ted DiBiase, and even IRS was a fantastic character. So I really enjoyed him a lot, even as a bad guy. So maybe Money Inc. would finish out the top five for me. But then you're losing guys like Powers of Pain, for example. Strike Force, that wasn't really my era. Killer Bees, not my era, but I mean, I still knew of them throughout my life. But someone I actually watched, yeah, I'd have to go Legion of Doom, Rockers, probably Nasty Boys, Natural Disasters, and probably Heart Foundation would be number 5. So Money Inc. would be number 6. All right. Back in my less original content days, erecting thousands of views and hundreds of subs. Now more original content, a lot less, but still substantial. Yeah, man, shoot. Like when I was seeing my numbers grow substantially, I know it's all from the short videos. I'm kind of a day behind on my TikTok, but like I'll post a video today. Let's say today was what was posted today. I think today was $1 Million Man Series 9 Hasbro. That same video I will not post on TikTok until tomorrow morning. So my TikTok account is a day behind, but and I know a lot of people are watching this on TikTok and then transferring over to my YouTube to subscribe. But I was really hoping that with all the influx of new subscribers that, some of my main videos and live shows would be watched, but they seem to be stagnant. And I've said that before, man. Your videos really only have about a week to do well. If I post a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday, let's say I do a live show on Saturday, nothing on Sunday, and we're back on Monday again. So three videos and a live show. Let's say you're by that following Monday, that video is at 100 views. You know you're pretty much gonna be stuck at 100 views. Another week will pass. Maybe it jumps up to like 103, 105, something like that. But your videos, whatever they do in the first 3 to 5 days, 3 to 7 days, that's pretty much where they're going to top off at. So, but I realized that right towards the beginning of my channel's existence. So, but I really would love for this stuff to do a whole lot better, right? I mean, I'm retired, so yes, I have my eBay business, my reselling business, whatever, but YouTube was never a business, was never supposed to be a business for me. It really wasn't until I started investing a whole lot more in the collection because I wanted those collectibles for the videos I wanted to make for the viewers and whatnot. So once I started investing a lot of money in that stuff, then becoming profitable, becoming marketable on YouTube became important to me. So that's the one thing when you go into stuff like this, become a creator, don't ever think that you're going to be successful. I hear these guys on YouTube like, hey, I just created this account 6 months ago and I just hit 50,000 subscribers. Every time I hear that, I want to curse those guys out so badly. I'm like, oh, you mother. I mean, I'm happy for them, most definitely. You want people that get on this platform, you want them to be successful. But it's like it took me 3.5 years to hit 960. And the only reason I'm over, what am I at? Like 1,200 and change right now. The only reason I'm at where I'm at right now over the last week or two is because I started making those short videos. But I think the channel is going to have to change, right? Eventually, especially with me slowing down my collection acquisition, I can't keep making the exact same videos over and over again. So eventually, yeah, I am going to have to move on to something else. Does that mean rebranding, making a whole new channel? No, I'm not doing that. I made a point a long time ago that I am not going to have a second channel because all that effort that you put into the first one, what happens then? You're going to be focusing on the second channel on that content, and the first one. Now, if this channel had like 500,000 subscribers and then I had a second account and they all moved over to that second account, hey, that's views from this account for 500,000. That's views on this account. Yeah, you could double your margins, but I'm going to stick with the way it is. I'm going to read some more of these. Smurfy spit. Yeah, I don't know about the Kool-Aid, but what's the blue Gatorade? Cool Blue, I think it's called. So it might be something very simple like that. I still watch Days of Wrestling, but if I'm telling the truth, the wrestling of 1960, 2010 is what I enjoy most. Fan of the PC era, or is that PC or P? No, it's PG. Damn. 1960. That's going way, way back there. I mean, that's like 1960s. Damn, that's like Bruno Sammartino era almost. Was he wrestling? I mean, maybe the late 60s. I know he was definitely in the 70s and early 80s, but that's like way back there. That's like Valiant and Sammartino and guys like that, man. Shoot. And that doesn't even include like that's like WWF, right? That's not even like AWA guys and NWA guys and all these other territories. So the sheep herders were totally different from the bushwhackers. Yeah, man. When they freaking like left New Zealand, even AWA, like they were real grapplers, but they come to WWF and Vince completely made them child friendly, and when they used to come down the darn aisle and they start licking the fans' heads and stuff, you're grossed as hell at that, but you always laughed at it. You always thought it was hilarious. But like, I would never put them in a million years on my list of favorites. Now, because they kind of also transitioned to Family Matters. I love their guest appearance on that show. One of my favorite comedies of all time, and to see them on that, I like that aspect. I love seeing when you see like random wrestlers, or it doesn't have to be wrestlers, but just basically anyone that you're a fan of appearing on one of your favorite shows. It always means a lot. All right. Oh, I'm way behind. Oh, damn, I'm way further back than I thought. How did I fast forward through all of this? I switched back to drip from K cups last year and don't miss the convenience. Drip from beans ground each morning. Make breakfast. Like, I don't really make breakfast. Like my wife, she sleeps in most days, and I don't know. Like she will make us pancakes or French toast from time to time, but that is a rarity. Normally, when I wake up, I will either have my coffee, like I said, and that's all I'll have, or I'll have a bowl of cereal, whatever that cereal of the day is. But we really don't have like big, massive breakfasts or anything like that. Food in general, you take it to the couch, you sit down, you watch YouTube or whatever show you're watching. Me, I don't even watch regular TV anymore. So pretty much all my TV viewing is YouTube. To me, I look at it as easy viewing. So black coffee in college and never look back. Yeah, one of my coworkers with Raytheon, like he said the same thing. Like either his brother or someone told him, or maybe a friend. I forgot how he described it. This was like 2018, but he's like he doesn't ever drink creamer with his coffee. He's like his brother told him, way back when, if you learn to drink coffee black, you will never need creamer, and you'll learn to love it and all that. But nah, there are things like I think about, like back in when I was a kid in Chicago, things I could not stand nowadays if I were to have it, like liver sausage. I don't know when it was. I'd probably say early this year, maybe late last year. We were at like Kroger or Walmart doing our grocery shopping, and I bought liver sausage. It's probably the first time in like 20 years or so that I had liver sausage. As kids, we used to eat the hell out of that crap. Paste it on your bread, smear it on the bread. That thing was delicious. I had made a couple sandwiches with that, when we bought, but 90% of it went to the trash. It just did not have the same appeal to me as it did from childhood. Mayonnaise, Miracle Whip was like what we were obsessed with on our sandwiches as kids. Then I got into high school and they started serving like Hellman's real mayonnaise, little packets for like your hamburgers and French fries and stuff. So ever since high school, like I have to have either Hellman's mayonnaise or Kraft mayonnaise, real mayonnaise. I can't touch Miracle Whip anymore. That stuff just tastes disgusting to me. So when I kind of look back and think coffee, for example, like my mom used to put milk in her coffee. That was her creamer, so to speak. And I used to do the same thing for a little while, but nowadays I couldn't imagine putting freaking regular milk in my coffee. Like, what's that gonna do? It's like, well, coffee is water based, but it's in essence you're watering down your coffee or something. The creamer, it gives it its flavor, in my opinion. Ugh. I just want to get to the part where I get drunk because usually when you get drunk, you don't even notice the alcohol taste anymore. Like my head hurts, my eyes are starting to feel droopy, but I don't feel like drunk, you know? So I'm still sure I got a long ways to go. All right. Legion of Doom or Road Warriors probably are they because WF didn't look LOD as strong, didn't book Legion of Doom as strongly. Well, I like the Rumco figures because I like the fact that they put both of those monikers on there. It says Legion of Doom, Road Warriors on the AWA 2-packs. So I always thought that was awesome. I mean, I kind of go back and forth. I mean, to me, there'll always be Legion of Doom, but even AWA days, they went by both monikers. I mean, Road Warriors just I don't know. Does that sound more endearing than Legion of Doom? Because you think Legion, you think several people, probably thousands. I mean, Legion, even thousands of people. So I don't. Maybe Road Warriors has a better attachment to the tag team, but remember, Vince McMahon tried getting Legion of Doom as part of his promotion forever, but they had a good job with AWA, then they had a good job with WCW. There's really only a handful of folks, tag teams that I actually knew about WCW when I was a kid because anytime you turn on the TV, it was always the exact same exact teams. Legion of Doom was always facing the Nasty Boys. Steiner Brothers were always facing the Nasty Boys. Ric Flair was always facing Sting, or Vader was always facing Sting. So those right there were like always your primary faces that you saw. I used to think about Cactus Jack, and there was like this YouTube video I watched months and months ago about a battle royal, like in like 1990, 91 time frame, and it showed Cactus Jack, and I'm like, because I used to make the argument that no, I didn't know who Cactus Jack was. Like, I knew him as Mankind, but I would never know him as Cactus. But that's a bold faced lie, because yes, I remember that battle royal from childhood, and I do remember seeing Cactus Jack in a lot in WCW way back when. So, but it's just one of those things where you don't think about it because you haven't seen it or talked about it in forever. But once you kind of get that refresher, it's like light bulb pops up. Oh man, they should have really made Vader part of the WCW Galoob line. That would have been fantastic. You guys see my Vader Galoob custom though? That one came from that wasn't Kevin Pelkey's version. Was it David, I think? What was David's account name on eBay? He makes a lot of those resin Galoob figures. He can pretty much take any figure you want. Galoob, LJN, Hasbro, whatever, turn it into Galoob form, which is awesome. So I got a number of figures from him. I got Dusty Rhodes and a Vader. I think they got the same play pose. But I sent them to my buddy Rob Jackson, who painted them up for me, and they just came out beautifully. All right. And back to Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. So obviously WWF, they had Demolition, right? Demolition was supposed to be a carbon copy of Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, and these guys that came to the ring in leather, dressed in black, face paint, this dynamic Demolition. How the hell did I forget Demolition in my top 5? I must be insane. All right. Legion of Doom, Rockers, Demolition. Hands down, finale. That's my top three favorite. Now, how do I put the other tag teams in there? I don't know, man. Like, I didn't even throw Steiner Brothers in there, which they belong in there as well. But I kind of feel like Steiner Brothers are more of a WCW tag team. Now, if we're just throwing any tag team, regardless of promotion, then maybe Steiner's top in the top five. I mean, I threw Nasty Boys in there, and I look at them as nothing more than a WCW, even though they portrayed they were in part of WWF for a while. Yeah, I'd have to include them, right? But learning that fans actually hated Legion of Doom when they first arrived because they thought that they were carbon copies or copycats of Demolition. I'm like, you guys are insane. You do realize that Legion of Doom predated Demolition. So Demolition, they had themselves some freaking luck. I mean, weren't they like tag team champions for like a year? That is glorious. Because generally you don't see tag teams, carry the belts for that, that significant amount of time. Road Warrior and Demolition are my favorite two tag teams. Yeah, Road Warriors. I keep calling Road Warriors Demolition, Legion of Doom. Number one, I put Demolition number three behind Rockers. Intimidating Ewan with the face paint, hairstyle, and shoulder pads. You know what? The sad thing is, there's like 100 million Demolition figures out there, right? As a collector, that's the tough part. Is trying to pick up like all of these Legion of Doom figures, and even the ones I don't want, like Jakks Pacific, WrestleMania, or something like that. One of those Jakks Pacific lines that came out years later, which in the late '90s, which is horrendous. But you love Legion of Doom, and you know the value of Legion of Doom, and so I figure that you probably wouldn't spend like $5 on if it was any other character. You'd probably have to shell out like $50, $60 because it's just for one character, just because it's Legion of Doom. And then you start looking at like the Jakks Pacific Classic Superstars. Whether you're getting Hawk on single card or Animal on single card, I mean, how much does that stuff go for? $60, 125, 200 each. Like crazy, right? So we start seeing like these new teams come out, like Bell to Bell from Ringside Collectibles, or not Power Town. It's not Power Town, but I think it's got power in the name. What the hell are they called? They have new Legion of Doom figures out. They kind of look like Hasbro's a little bit. Big bulky figures. I never got those. I mean, even trying to win those on auction, you're probably paying like $75 for them for just one. And it's like, wait a minute, aren't these like $40 as a pair when they first came out? So I like Legion Doom because they're valuable for collection purposes, but they were my favorite tag team as a kid, and I haven't been able to change my mind about that. Sheep herders were a precursor to the bushwhackers. Yep. Or they were also known as New Zealand sheep herders too. So, I mean, they've had a few different names. Oddly enough, just like Legion of Doom wasn't always two characters, bushwhackers weren't always two characters. Occasionally, they had to have a third member come in when so and so was down. I don't know, like Butch was down. Maybe it was Luke and somebody else or something, or vice versa. Butch and someone, but Bushwhackers, 40 years. Can you imagine being a tag team set for 40 freaking years? It's crazy. And the durability of those guys. But I mean, come on. It's like, hey, let me step in this Royal Rumble. Let me just walk you over to their side and throw you over the ropes. You're in there for 2 seconds. And then you're outside all giddy doing your little dance. I'm like, dude, how humiliating. It's like, hi, I'm only here for the paycheck. I'm like crazy, man. But you laugh at it because it is funny. But at the same time, as funny as that is, it's also a pain in my ass. You guys know when it comes to Royal Rumbles, anybody that doesn't last at least 5 minutes, and I think even that's way too short. But if you're in there for less than 5 minutes, I think that's a complete waste of a roster spot. Like it's the first two entrants in the Royal Rumble, and number two erases, clotheslines number one over the ropes. And now he's waiting in the ring until the third entrant comes in. And then he throws him out and throws the next guy. Like, was it 98 or 99? No, maybe 97 even. I don't know. Whatever year, I think it was I think Steve Austin won it. And I remember watching this being bored on my freaking mind because, like, Steve Austin would eliminate somebody. He'd go to the ropes, sit on the turnbuckles until the clock counted down. Next guy come in, he'd do battle with him, eliminate him, go back to the ropes, sit down until the next guy comes in. And he did this like 30,000 times. I'm like, how freaking boring. I believe 94 Diesel cleared the ring and kept clearing the ring until finally around number 14, 15, they started building back up again. But I don't like that. Was it Braun Strowman or I think it was like a 2015 Royal Rumble or something. Like I wasn't watching these Royal Rumbles in order or anything. It just whatever was available on YouTube. No. Maybe it was a Rotunda guy or something. Bray Wyatt. Yeah, that's who I think it was. I think it was Bray Wyatt. I think that's who it was. Eliminated everyone and their mom in the Royal Rumble. And then with like 10 people to go, finally the ring starts building. I despise that. I'm like, look, when it comes to Rumbles, I want like the first 10 or 12 people that enter the Rumble to be in there all simultaneously. And then maybe you could start eliminating a guy here, a guy there. But that right there is not an enjoyable event. Like after about the third elimination like that, I'd find somebody to bitch at and be like, look, give me back my damn money. This shit sucks. This is a damn waste. That's why I guess I always gravitate towards the female Royal Rumbles as well, is because at least they're more realistic. You're not going to have one person come in and throw everybody out. That's just stupid and wasteful. At least with the female Rumbles, you've got 8 people in the ring at one time, 10 people in the ring at one time. It gives you the feeling that everyone has a chance to win. And not to mention, let's be honest, their acrobatics, their fighting technique and skills, I just felt like it was far superior. They weren't just punch to the face or kick to the face, body slam, like a lot of the men wrestling. So I just found the female Royal Rumbles to be more entertaining. All right. What's the top shelf spirits for tonight? Hey, Russ. I wouldn't call this one top shelf, but this one is called Appalachian Sippin' Cream Strawberry Dream. It looks like strawberry milk. It's got the same color and texture of strawberry milk. But it tastes terrible. You definitely need a chaser for this. Like I said, all of the bottles that we had that came in these respective jars, this is all supposed to be like moonshine and stuff. So I don't know if this is considered moonshine or it's drinkable. You need a chaser, but it's drinkable. And like I said, it does have that good strawberry milk aftertaste a little bit, so it's not horrendous. The Bulldogs. Yeah, for me, I can't ever throw the Bulldogs on there because I wasn't even aware of Dynamite Kid until like a few years ago when I started collecting. Like whenever I hear Bulldog, all I can think about is Davy Boy, because dreadlocks, white pants, UK color scheme on his design on his pants. That's British Bulldog I grew up watching. I didn't know about Dynamite. Now, again, is that necessarily 100% accurate? Going through my magazine review videos, right? Looking through these magazines, I came across the what was it, 80? Was it 86? Yeah, it had to be 1986. That's when WrestleMania 2 happened, right? Now, I don't know if I had the WrestleMania 2 tape when we were young, or maybe it was like a best of, or maybe it was like a Royal Rumble or a Battle Royal tape. I don't remember. But I've always made the argument that, hey, I didn't know about Andre ever wearing yellow. I only remember him in a black singlet. Again, inaccurate. Looking at that magazine, I can be like, wait a minute. This right here, this event, this Battle Royal, I remember that. Because I had the video cassette, I watched it over a lot of times as a kid. And what stood out to me is you had like the 1985 Bears, champion Bears. A lot of those football players were in there. One of them was a guy called the Refrigerator Perry, and I remember him getting getting dunked over by, I think, by Big John Studd. Was big? Yeah, it was Big John Studd, and he reaches over to like shake his hand, and he pulls Studd over the ropes. So like that scene, I remember that scene so vividly. And then of course, a few months back, I pulled out my WrestleMania 2 tape and actually watched it to completion, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And having that battle royal actually take place in Chicago. So, I mean, maybe I did see Dynamite Kid wrestle at some point when I was young, but I was just basically way too young to ever remember, right? When you're 3, 4 years old, even when you're 5, early stage of age 5, you really don't remember everything or don't remember a whole lot. But I think, age 5 is around when your memories start kicking in. So I do just enough, I think. But watching old videos, Bulldogs as a duo are fantastic. I think Dynamite Kid would have blended beautifully with guys like the Hardys today and all their acrobatic moves. So I thought Dynamite was incredible. But I just don't have that history, that nostalgia with that particular tag team. Only the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. One of my top 10 all-time favorite wrestlers. The British Bulldogs were special. Got both sets of the Big Rubber guys. A funny thing about the Big Rubber guys, Bulldogs? Like when I ordered those figures, I thought they were coming in blue tights, right? Yeah, blue pants. I think that's the design I saw when we ordered. When I finally got my figures in, British Bulldogs in white pants. I'm like, wait, what? I don't want British Bulldogs in white. I didn't even know British Bulldogs in white was even an option. Which technically, white pants Bulldogs were the best because they came with the Matilda accessory. Well, one of them did. But got the white pants later on. Had to go on eBay and bid on auction to win the blue pants for variants. But yeah, I got both of those. Do I have them carded? I think I have both variants carded, if I'm not mistaken. I definitely have both of them loose. I might be missing. I might be missing Davy Boy loose for blue pants, but I should have both sets carded. It was a little shit in the locker room. That's exactly what I'm hearing, man. Like when Jacques Rougeau, when he does his interviews, his little shoot interviews, he talks about the incident with Dynamite and how Bad News Brown wanted to kick his ass too because he freaking knocked the living shit out of Dynamite Kid. And Bad News Brown, he was all part of that Stampede Wrestling in Calgary, right? So he was right there with Bret with the Hearts and British Bulldogs and what have you. So he had a good relationship with Dynamite, and hearing that he was basically sucker punched by the Mountie. But my hey, you're gonna screw with somebody, you're gonna catch some shit. So yeah, I gotta go back and watch that interview. That was an entertaining story. Like I don't know if he like broke his teeth or what happened, but I mean you had a handful of like rolled up money like in a sock or something. Those coins, yeah, you're probably gonna freaking insert some kind of damage. There's probably gonna be some missing teeth or whatnot. So, oh man, this stuff is blurry as hell now. But then again, my eyes suck, so everything's always blurry. Dynamite Kid versus Tiger Mask in Japan are legendary matches. See, I know of Tiger Mask only because my buddy Eric, I think he has Tiger Mask as like his eBay screen name now. He used to be called Wrestling Rider, but I don't know why he changed his screen name. But I think he has a Tiger Mask as his new. Man, that's another story right there. You guys look at my LJN custom wall. Wrestling Router customs abound, right? Like 50 or 60 figures. So I mean, I bought a massive amount of stuff from him. I used to be where I used to just buy figures. I would send them out to him. He would paint them up, customize them, whatever that I needed, and I'd have this amazing custom for my collection. And I sent him like so much stuff, so much. I pay him ahead of time because I always did. For like 2 years, never got my stuff back. I think me bitching enough, he finally did the right thing and sent that stuff out. But they were not done. They weren't done right. I don't want to say that he half-assed it, but when I look at the original figures I got from him and I look at the next that I got, probably early 2024, you could see the difference. Now I know he's told me that he's been sick and that's why he hasn't been able to work on anything in the last couple of years, but as a friend, you kind of want to, kick back, like, hey man, take your time, work on your health first. But at the same time, it's like, hey, if you can't accomplish the job that I paid you for, can you at least send the figures back to me so I can try and sell them on eBay or something, get some of my money back? Nothing. So it's one of those reasons why I stopped, talking about him, why I stopped talking about his figures over the last couple of years, is because I feel like I got screwed over. And that was a really good friend. So, but sometimes you put this trust and you keep sending box after box after box to people. I'm seeing that happen again right now. And I don't want to complain because I kind of brought this on myself because I tell the people when I send the box, hey man, there's no rush. Complete it when you can complete it. But you would think that, you send somebody a lot of stuff that, hey, if they were accustomed to getting you a whole entire box back to you in like a month or two, that it wouldn't take a year to get one single box back when they have like 20 other boxes that you sent. This is, of course, talking about the second second customizer. So, yeah, I'm done with that though. I'm done buying stuff and sending them out to people to customize. I'm like, how much is it going to cost me to customize this? $50. All right, here, I'll tell you what. I paid $50 on this. You want $50 to customize it? You give me $100 right now. I will send you the box. When you customize the item and send it back to me, I will pay you that $100 back. I mean, I know in a million years it would never work, but the point is, that's what I feel like I got to start doing because people are taking advantage of your kindness. And I hate that. How did we get there? Tiger Mask. That's what we were talking about. I gotta check out that match now. This Dynamite Kid versus Tiger. Actually, did I see that? I probably did because that matchup sounds very familiar. Sometimes you put related video to a longer vid, it can work, but but not every time, unfortunately. It always tells you what is it called? Right at the end of the video when you post something, especially like live shows, they do the same thing. We can incorporate other videos that you posted at the end, so when the video ends, it goes straight to that card, and that way the viewers can just click on the next video to take you to something else. But I think I tried doing that like a year ago, and for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but it didn't work out. There were no cards, there were no videos for people to click on after the video ended. So I just don't even bother with that. Hey, Jordan, thanks so much, buddy. I try to make my videos as fun as I can, but I know I'm not the best talker in the world, right? But I try my best to give honest feedback and try to provide a video that viewers can enjoy. Huh. As you do with the figures you share. Yeah, man, that's exactly what I talked about, man. I try to make my stuff at least to my liking, right? Where this person over here might absolutely love something, but I might look at it and I may not be a fan. And I'm going to kind of take that thought and I'm going to transition to recent events. I did a good job the first hour, almost 12 minutes of not talking about this, but I have to, right? I think I would be a complete asshole if I didn't at least mention it, talk about it for a few minutes in the video. So, actually, you know what? There was this comment on a Facebook page that I want to read to you guys because I thought it was actually very well stated. And if I can find it, it may not be here. But anyways, one reason why I said I'm absolutely hating the world that we're living in right now. I am glad I'm retired because to go out in the world, go into a work environment, deal with certain personalities and stuff, I don't know if I would be able to handle it. Like I would be coming home miserable every single day, frustrated, angry, nothing to do with the job, but with the aspect of existing, I guess, in this world. So we saw it a couple months ago when Hogan died. You thought, okay, a man died. You're gonna see a bunch of condolences, maybe from those who didn't know him or didn't follow his career or anything like that. And a lot of other people are gonna be like, hey, this man's a legend. I grew up watching and I like something like that. It was like 70% hate. Everyone and their mom out coming out of the woodwork, called man a racist and just a fascist and MAGA. Like I don't know why MAGA is got to be a freaking slur, or the way they even say Trump supporter as a slur. I'm like, oh my god, it's become like the worst thing in the world nowadays. But then you see this man Charlie Kirk. I only became familiar with him because of his TikTok videos. The man didn't go to college, right? And this is why I say colleges, they're scams. I mean, do you ever retain the knowledge you learned from college? Not really. 99% of the time, what you go to college for, the job you pick afterwards has nothing to do with your degree. A college degree really is nothing more than a personal accomplishment, which you're later going to have to pay between $30,000 to $120,000 to pay back. Luckily, I had the VA and I don't have to worry about that. But college, it did nothing for me professionally. As a high school graduate, I had a ton of job opportunities. Some of my most highest paying jobs ever have come with nothing more than a high school diploma. But once I got educated, got my bachelor's, got my master's, started working on the doctor, everything dried up for me. And I hate the excuse like, hey, you're overqualified for this position. It's like, dude, if I applied to this position, I don't care if I'm overqualified. I just want a job. Especially think about that way. If you're looking for work and you're trying to support your family, and then you go in a recruiter or hiring manager tells you you're overqualified, man. In 2014, I went from Mantech working in Afghanistan at 142 a year to coming home and working a job at HEB, stocking shelves at the grocery store as an overnight stocker at the grocery store, making $10 an hour. Backbreaking work. When you came home, you didn't have a job. At that point, you're just trying to earn money to make a living, to pay your bills, support your family. So I hate that excuse that people give you, like, oh, you're overqualified. Like, I don't give a damn. I'm just looking for some kind of income. But oh man, I always go on these tangents. I hate that every time I go on these tangents and I always forget how I got there. But working world. Up yours. Love that screen name, buddy. Not drunk yet, but if you're already there, I might have to switch over to the good stuff. The devil, the killer, whatever you want to call it. This son of a gun that's 115 proof. One shot of this, and you're already messed up before you even drink anything else. So I'm gonna try to hold that off for a little bit. So I came across this story, and I thought it was very recent, like over the last few days. I looked at the news reports online, and it turns out this actually happened August 22nd. So today's what, the 13th? So 22 days ago. So this happened over 3 weeks ago. And like I only learned about this story probably in like the last 4 or 5 days, maybe. And this is what I'm talking about. This is so fuss. This is why this world is absolute trash. So there's this girl. I'm going to see if I can pronounce her name correctly. Irina Zarutska. So, she was what was he, a Polish referee? No, she was a Ukrainian. She was a Ukrainian refugee. I guess her family came to the United States and didn't have a car or didn't have a driver's license. So she took public transportation, right? Got off work at like a pizzeria, sat in her chair on a train. Dude sitting behind her for no damn reason. Stabs this girl in the neck 3 times. Now, mind you, there are a ton of other people surrounding her that saw this happen. The girl's shocked. I mean, if you watch the video, it's freaking depressing as hell. Like, it makes you want to tear up. It makes you just want to freaking just break everything in your house. It's just so infuriating, right? So this girl kind of looks over, like, after she's just been stabbed, like, she's scared, doesn't know what the hell's going on, what she did wrong. She's sitting there crying to herself as she bleeds out and dies. All these people around her, nobody checked on her. They all walked past her. I'm like, what kind of freaking horrible scumbags are these people? I mean, I think the people that let this happen are about as bad as the guy that attacked her for no reason. But there's a reason why you didn't hear about this story until people started talking about it on TikTok. I've always said I've never been political. I've never cared one iota about politics or government or whatnot. I didn't care who president was. If somebody says, well, you know what, you vote for this president, you're going to have $1 gas. You vote for this president, you're going to have $10 gas. You know what? If this guy wins, fine. I'll pay the $1 gallon. If this guy wins, I'll hate having to pay more, but you know what? I will pay the $10 gallon because that's what it costs. So it's like, it's always been like whatever to me. But I saw this story and I saw this, this beautiful young woman, I think she was like 23, still a kid, man. Being stabbed for no damn reason. How about this Charlie Kirk guy? He's not a politician. He has absolutely no say whatsoever when it comes to creating any sort of laws or anything like that. He simply goes college to college, kind of talk about experiences, gives you the most brilliant retort every time, right? It's not even safe nowadays to voice your own opinions. But you have these freaking maniacs, the actual scum of the earth. And why should I be surprised? I mean, Hogan died, and look at the ridicule the man got. But he died, I think, of natural causes, if I'm not mistaken. So, but this was straight up murder, man. This was a straight up political assassination. You know, they started World War One because of a political assassination, right? How do you think that some shit like this is going to go down? People out there are trying to make our country. They're trying to bring out a second civil war. And I'm sitting around, I'm watching this crap, and I'm like, I heard the news that the man was just killed, and like I was furious. You get on social media, man. You think that you're gonna see, you know what? I mean, I've always agreed with his politics or his beliefs, but you know, I'm sorry for the loss. You know, condolences to his kids and wife. If Hogan was like 70% positive, negative, same thing, 70-80% negative comments throughout. Like I like getting on TikTok, I like getting on Facebook and looking at different stories and stuff, but then I see this stuff and it just put me in such a sour mood that I kind of don't want to go about my day anymore. Like every single post I come across meme, oh my god, this stupid idiot made this meme. And I basically said, "You're a freaking monster." It's from one of my favorite sites. Got me crackling like a witch over a cauldron. I think it's called something like that, right? And I basically told her that this woman is sick. That posted this meme. And whenever I freaking make a response to someone, calling them out for their hypocrisy, uh, for being a hypocrite, for saying this disgusting comments and stuff. Like I'll have 5 million freaking comments on my page bashing me. You're such a snowflake, for lack of a better term, or whatever. I'm like, no, I love dark humor, but this right here, this shit's not damn funny. So over the last few, and I see you guys commenting. I'm gonna get to you in a bit. I'm sorry. I just gotta think about this before I lose it because my memory sucks. So I see the Charlie Kirk murder. I see this Irina Zarutska murder. I look at, I mean, goddamn, over the last couple weeks, how many freaking school shootings do we have? I know there was that trans kid in what was it, Minnesota, I think. And I think this kid that killed Charlie Kirk, he was dating a trans. Like, what the hell? Like, okay, they're trans, big whoop. It's not the end all be all. They want to be trans, let them be trans. Who cares? For Charlie Kirk in particular, like I liked his videos. I like what he had to say. I loved his knowledge and his knowledge of history and whatnot. I'm a history buff, so that stuff is important to me. And he makes a good argument every time. Unlike other people, he will sit down and he will listen. He will listen to what the other people have to say, and if he has a retort, he will retort. That's why I always said I've always been a huge fan of debate. At the end of the day, your opinion doesn't have to change. You can still feel the same way you felt before. But what a debate does is it allows you to open up your mind and see points of view from the other side. And like I said, this was a man that didn't have any political power or anything like that, but some idiot felt the need to murder a man in front of his wife and kids. I'm like, what kind of sicko? Then you see all these school shootings and stuff. You know what comments I love? Oh, well, he fought for the freedom of maintaining the Second Amendment to bear arms and this, that, and the other. I'm like, and now because of that, he got killed by a gun. I'm like, freaking idiots. If I say I need a working stove so I can cook my food, we should all have access to a working stove to cook food. And then one day my house, there's a gas leak or something and my house blows up. People are going to say, oh, well, he asked for it because he thinks that everybody should have a working stove. Pretty much the same general concept, right? So all this talk about, freedom of speech, you have the right to say or feel however you want. I know I'm not alone, and I don't think as a society we've earned the right to have freedom of speech anymore because people they don't know how the hell to take care how to say things appropriately. I mean, there should be a no-fly zone with certain topics. You did not have to believe in this man. You didn't have to believe in his politics or his belief system. If you're 100% against him, that's your prerogative. But going out publicly praising his death. So I'm seeing a lot of people, their jobs or they're being reported to their jobs and they're getting fired. I'm like, freaking yes, love it. Get every one of those sick off the damn internet. And once the job next employer says, "So why'd you leave your last job?" Oh, because I condone murder. This 14 goddamn time convicted felon or whatever the fuck he was, excuse my language, uh, that kept getting released because this freaking judges are a bunch of pansies, goes on to a train and murders a young girl for no damn reason. Maybe because she was a different color than him, whatever the damn reason. He didn't belong on damn streets in the first place. You're seeing that. You're seeing that murder. You're seeing all these school shootings that are happening. Colorado, Minnesota. I think there was another one. Well, we talked about the Charlie Kirk one in Utah, but I don't consider that to be a school shooting. I mean, that was targeted for one particular person. So when I decided, well, hey, was I going to do a live stream this week? I strongly considered skipping this week because I just didn't feel like I was in a mood or a position to come on here and speak casually with you guys, especially earlier when we were looking at a lot of fun questions and I was able to answer and talk to you guys. That right there, that's what I'm looking for with my live streams. I love that kind of interaction. But when stuff like this comes up, you have to talk about it because if you don't, it's like you're ignoring the tragic events. And I want people to know that, hey, we are thinking about them and their families. So there's a lot I could technically say. There was one message I wanted to show you guys because I really thought it was a brilliant response, and I don't know where it's at, and it's bothering me. No, it's not that one. Da, da, da. Is this it? Yeah, so the site's called Got Me Cackling Like a Effing Witch. The word, not effing, just the whole word. Witch standing over a cauldron. That's the name of the YouTube or the Facebook page. And so in the meme, they talk about I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made up new age term, and it does a lot of damage. And whoever posted this, they obviously only posted part of the comment. They didn't even give you the full comment that he said. And when you throw in the rest of the comment, the context makes sense. But I basically said that this person was what did I say on here? Damn, where are you? Oh, if you guys know who a Cheri, Cherie is, find whoever that motherfucker is and spam their goddamn account because they fucking deserve everything that's coming to them. But I basically said something like, you're sick. Why would you post this on a comedy page, etc. And my comment just got blown up with all of these hate comments. And it's basically calling me a crybaby because I was standing up for this guy. I'm like, are you people fucking retarded? But there is one person on here, if I could find her message, which I really liked. So I'm gonna read this out, read it in its entirety. As a registered Democrat, I think it's really sad to see how many other Democrats and liberals just toss their morals out the window just to post about karma. There are no Democrat liberals. Like, they make it sound like it's a good side, that there could be do no wrong, all about trust and love. Bullshit. Come on now. I never agreed with Charlie. I think his opinions were all ridiculous. However, I think him not being a politician should scare people. And this is where it's important. He had no weight in politics. I actually said the same thing. He was just a talking head. He made no rules, just like any other American citizen. This should scare everyone, regardless of your political side. This was just an American man who was shot for speaking publicly, not for murdering someone or raping someone or causing a war, but for arguing his opinions and beliefs. I think that's brilliant. Yeah, that's where we're at. Freedom of speech should not be a given, should not be granted to every single person anymore. Every single time I read one of these comments on a Facebook page or I see these TikTok videos, but be freaking glad I'm not president. I would track down every last one of these motherfuckers, line their asses up, and, well, I'm not going to get demonetized for saying that, but scum of the earth. Good riddance. All right. Sorry, kind of go off on these rants sometimes, but that was something I needed to say at least once before I got too far along into the video, because if I start saying this stuff when I'm drunk, man, I may not make sense, and I might start saying some stupid ass crap that I can't take back. Now, I wouldn't want to take anything back for these assholes. Huh. Damn, why am I always so far behind? Sorry, going back to the comments right now, but damn, am I seriously that far back? Damn, I'm like nowhere near where I thought I'd be. All right, this is insane. Wow, guys, I really did not mean to ignore you guys. Holy crap. I didn't realize I had these many comments coming in. And if I can just find where I left off. All right, here is something. Since I started following shortly ago, you've gained an F ton of subs. Yep. Hey, Dwayne, yeah, man, shoot. Like, I got, like, I want to say 225. I think that number seems small. Last I checked, I was at like 1,210. I think when September 1st started, I was probably at like 964 or something like that, 967. So yeah, well over 200 subscribers since then, and that's freaking amazing. I owe it all to the freaking shorts, man. My buddy Kirk was absolutely right with that. Did you see the Power Town interview from Friday? Was that terrible? I did not see the interview, but I heard about it. And from what I heard, a lot of viewers had a bunch of head scratch. It was a head scratcher. Like, I don't think they learned anything more than what they knew beforehand. Come on, Philip. I kind of feel like that's a line that probably will not ever be made. Ugh. I mean, it's been like close to 2 years already, man. Like, I'm still hoping that my NES Pro Wrestling figures from Cell Rush Collectibles, I'm still hoping that those come out at the end of the year. But when I had my Winnie the Pooh figures canceled, then I had those still doing. I think as long as we have them at the end of the year, early next year, I'll be good. But if it gets to like March 2026 and those Pro Wrestling NES figures aren't in hand, I'm going to have to reach out to Sabi like, hey, what's the status? That is exactly why I don't want to do pre-orders. I have not gotten the figures, sidetrack. I haven't gotten the figures yet, but Sin Bodhi has already sent me the pictures of the figures that he completed. So I was hoping to have them by last Saturday so we could have had it for that stream. Then this Saturday for this stream, it just hasn't happened. So I am hoping that they are going to ship out soon and I can have them at least by next week because I don't want to give the full-on pictures of them until I do this live stream with you guys and we can show off the new figures. Thing is, I might skip Alibaba because you got to purchase 500 units and I just don't know if our figures will sell 500 at a time, right? So maybe we could go through net at Ram Treasures. It just means we won't have a poster, we won't have a fitted bubble, we won't have a card back. All we'll have is the figure itself. But we'll have decent rubber, hopefully, and we'll have a professionally painted figures for the viewers, for the fans who actually want them. And it's a lot easier to sell 20 and 25 figures than it is 500, right? Problem is, even if I pay for the mold of those figures and she creates 25 figures, she's still going to be the one that paints them, right? So how do we balance the sale of 25 figures between two parties when they both want to earn a profit off of that? We can say, well, she paints them up and I get 50% of each sale, but at that point, 20 figures at, let's say, $50. Well, that would give me enough money. I think that'd be $1,000. So that'd give me enough money to earn back what I paid for the molds, but no money left over for profit. Nothing I could use to pay for the next mold, right? Which is really what I want to do. And if I want it to be a business, I can't do it that way. That's why I'm thinking I might be stuck with trying to go through a factory to mass produce. That's before Bruno. Yeah. I thought he might have been like early mid 70s. I'm not sure about the 60. I thought that was pushing it some. I figured as much. TGIS. It's Saturday. I actually miss TGIF, man. TGIF back in the 90s was freaking phenomenal. You had Sabrina Teenage Witch and Boy Meets World, which were always staples. Then you're on like shows like Two of a Kind, and there was that one show with the genie that was wrapped up in the rug. I can't remember what the damn show was called. think Teen Angel was another one of those TGIF shows. Family Matters. I never thought of Family Matters as a TGIF show, but I think that was TGIF as well. In like, what was it, mid 90s, 95, 96, when TV viewing was so easy. So for me, let's say 97 era, like Mondays, I'd watch Seventh Heaven and then Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Tuesdays were nothing. Wednesdays, I'd watch Nick Freno, Licensed Teacher, the Wayans brothers. Later on, Sister Sister and Smart Guy came, Jamie Foxx show, stuff like that would air on Wednesdays. Thursdays were nothing. Fridays, I'd move over to TGIF, for their lineup. And I look at that handful of shows I used to watch in the mid 90s or to late 90s. And then I look at like 2018 when I was working for Raytheon here in Louisville. And I would just look at my DVR. And I would finish up the week's shows on Sunday by, let's say, 11 p.m. on Sunday night. I'd have like 8 different shows already on there. And over the course of the week, I'd probably have like 60 different shows I'd be watching on a consistent basis. So my DVR was always jam-packed. You can never watch everything and have it be empty because just so, and it's like, damn, it got to a point where I finally realized that I have a compulsion. I have an obsession with TV shows. And then you look at me nowadays, like I don't even watch TV shows anymore. What was it, yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. I watched Flash season 9. I think it was episode 9, season 9, episode 8 or episode 9, something like that. It was probably the first Flash episode I watched in almost a year. Like it took me over a year to watch season 9 to get started. And over the course of like 6 to 8 months, like I only watched like 6 or 7 episodes. And I haven't watched anything in 6 months, a year, however long it's been. So, and I loved the Flash back in the day, but I just haven't been able to be a fan last several years. That's why I kind of stick to YouTube, man, because YouTube, like I said, it's easy viewing. I could watch something that's 45 minutes long. That's okay. Or I could watch this video that's 5 minutes long. It's just an easy watchable show. As long as, whoever you're watching, Tectone or Pegasus, Xenoshot, guys like that who I really enjoy, August the Duck, for example. So I love those commentary shows. Jamari is another good one, right? So it's not always wrestling related. It could be like I said, reaction type shows or commentary channels. I don't know if you would consider my channel to be a commentary channel though. I mean, I do some commentary here and there, but like not to the level that those guys do. That's like their whole purpose, and that's why they got like 500,000 plus subscribers on their channels, because they talk about recent events and stuff. I'm just not the best talker in the world, so like it's hard for me to like I can write the hell out of an essay, but to sit down and verbalize it without thinking about it first, without writing it down, without researching it first, I can't do it. That's why I kind of stick to stuff that's really fun, that I enjoy, that I can actually speak on. All right. Sheep Herders would have been great in ECW. They're really good before their WWF run. When was ECW? Was that like 1990, 92, something like that? Like I didn't realize ECW was that old. Like I thought ECW was like a 2000 era. And then I learned like later on, like no, they've been around since like 1990s. I'm like, that's crazy. Like I had no idea it was out that long. But yeah, I could see them up there. Oh shit, dude. Where you coming from? My wife just ninja'd herself into the room, scared the shit out of me. I just kind of looked to my side. I see this thing coming at me. Like, what the fuck? Older. 1 second, guys. You should use one of these. All right. make breakfast during the week. It's just a yogurt or two, or my go-to is frozen breakfast sandwiches. Yeah, my wife, she has the yogurt, but not it's not for me though. Like I can't eat yogurt. Or what is it that she gets that Greek yogurt? Oh my god, that stuff looks and smells terrible. But you need to put it back.
Can't open it.
Well, there's other open ones. You want me to grab another box?
No, I'll just grab it from here.
I will drink flavored beans, but still black. My wife bought a. I think I told you guys already.
Coffee grinder.
Yeah, a coffee grinder. Like we went to the store, we bought a couple of those big giant coffee bags, right? And you look on Amazon, those damn suckers are going for like 30, 40 bucks. But I didn't realize that these darn bags were bean coffee. I thought they were ground coffee. And so it's not really anything I could have made at the time, not until she bought the grinder. I finally did sell one of those coffee bags, the Starbucks one. I got like 20 bucks for it, I think. But I sold it to someone in Puerto Rico, and she was asking if I had another bag, which I did. But the Nescafe, it's not the same, obviously, so she wasn't interested in that. But hey, 20 bucks on a bag of coffee. So actually, it may have been like $15. Yeah, I think it may have been like 15 on auction, whatever. Unimportant. All right. Your figure collection looks awesome. Hey, Irish. Thanks, man. I'm always trying to expand that collection, but now I'm kind of focusing on clearing out space to make room for other items. Like my zombie sailors in my main display room. I took that all down. And now I'm going to start using that for like Mattel retros, because my brown bookcase of retros that I have all carded and loose, that's all filled up, right? So from this point forward, I got to find other areas to actually start displaying that stuff. And I don't really care about zombie sailors anymore, so they're all in the garage right next to the grapples and gimmicks. Now, grapples and gimmicks, if they would stop making so many darn figures, I could actually properly display them in the main display room, but I just ran out of space. So that's why the pegboard of those figures is necessary. Got some vanilla hazelnut beans right now from some company I never heard of, but got on sale on time. Sam's. I am never going back to that. Was a waste of freaking money for me. Like I watch these videos, right? And these guys, they like, hey, this is my grocery haul for the day. And they show their everything that they bought at the grocery store. And I'm like, here's this mom, mother of like 6 kids or whatever. And bag of chips, bag of chips, bag of chips, pop, pop, pop. Pizza pockets and full-on pizzas, like 30 pizzas for like one kid that he's going to eat over the course of 2 weeks, things like that. I'm like, just basically it's just a bunch of junk food, right? I'm like, man, is there anything healthy in what you guys are? Now don't get me wrong, my wife and I, when we go grocery shopping, our cart is filled with snacks and just junk food, because who the hell wants to eat broccoli and crap, right? But there's at least some vegetables and fruits that you're going to find in there, right? But like, I'm watching these videos. I'm like, how are you guys making these videos for the public to goddamn publicly shame you? Sam, but a lot of times it's like, hey, I went to Sam's Club and I bought all of this food and I spent this much. I'm like, no shit. So yeah, I had my wife go on and do a subscription for Sam's Club. I think like for a year, I think it's like $60 or something to become a member. So what was that? I think a week ago or about a week and a half, we went to Sam's Club for the first time ever. I didn't realize I thought it was super far. I thought it was like 20 miles out or something. No, there's one next to my house, probably within like a 10-minute drive or less. I'm like, cool. We go to Sam's Club. I mean, it's a big warehouse atmosphere, which I kind of expected. The damn prices were absolutely ridiculous. And I get it. A lot of stuff it's bulk. You're going to have a lot more product in these, but I'm like the cost was stupid. Like that little fake uh what's it called? It's not oh man, I'm trying to think. Is it fake crab meat or something like that? But there's a little package about that thin, right? And it's about that long. Uh some kind of crab meat. I forget what the name brand is called. I'm thinking, okay, something like that at Walmart, Kroger, Meyer, whatever. It's like $5. I mean, this can't be that expensive. We go to freaking Sam's Club. That sucker is at they're asking $25 for that little small ass package. I'm like, get the out of you guys are out of your damn minds. So we spent a couple $100 at Sam's Club, 250, something like that. And they don't even give you grocery bags. I didn't even know that. It was like going to Aldi. You got to bring your own grocery bags. So if you haven't been to Sam's Club before, now you know. Uh, and we didn't really get a whole lot. So for $250, I was extremely disappointed. And I'm like, I'm never going back to Dump again. Wasn't worth it. But that was just nuts to see that type of price. My family loves Miracle Whip, but I do prefer Real Mill. Damn, how far behind am I on these messages? Damn. Yeah, I can't go back to Miracle Whip. Never again. Bologna is another thing. I have eaten ham for like 20 plus years, nearly 25 years, something like that. So, like, imagine going back to bologna on your sandwiches. Like, disgusting. I can't do it. It has to be real ham, otherwise, not worth it, right? Hey, Venom, what's happening, buddy? Milk can take away some bitterness and cool the coffee down so you can drink it sooner. I have to wait a bit for it to cool. Yeah, I think that's exactly why my mom used to put milk in her coffee. I mean, it's why I put creamer in my coffee. Obviously, you don't want to sit there and drink black coffee too hot, but I mean, I could drink black coffee. It's nothing against it. I like creamer. I like the taste of the creamer. Like the coffee itself doesn't give its flavor to me. To me, the creamer is what gives it its flavor. Oh, that's bad stuff. Put some Jameson in the coffee. The Jameson, that's the alcohol drink, right? We're on the same page there. I do work from home. That's something I might have to consider, getting a at-home job. But what kind of at-home jobs are there? I think it's like all tech support or something, right? Uh-oh, I froze up. No. I'm trying to go back up. It won't let me. There we go. Found your channel last week. The Andre the Giant Latuni review needed a review before buying, and there's really not many reviews on Latuni figures. Hey, Venom, man, I'm glad you like that one. To me, I think Andre from Latuni is one of the best. Now, given the play pose, you know, the one-man gang Ken Patera play pose, I mean, that's, you know, leaves a lot to be desired. Same thing with the Macho Man figure, you know, with the whole his arm being like up here where he's like kind of taking his sunglasses off, right? Play pose leaves a lot to be desired. But the overall design, it's quality. With the Macho Man, I love the soft rubber. Very reminiscent to the original LJNs. About the closest you're ever going to get to an original LJN. Nice, fluffy, for lack of a better term, rubber. But it's also firm enough to the point where you can sit there, bend the legs and whatever back and forth all you want, like you would a pop can top. It's not going to break off. I've noticed from other customizers who customize their own rubber, certain figures they don't hold up. You got to get that top quality rubber, and Latuni they have it. And with like Axe, and then later on Andre, it's like a very hardened rubber, the same as what Big Rubber Guys uses. Now, given that the Andre and Macho Man, they're basically the same exact rubber. It really is. It is the same rubber, but I think there's like an added percentage. What is it? Because the people from Alibaba asked me about this as well. Like they want to know what kind of percent of what the type of rubber. I forget the name that he used, but do you want 70% rubber? Do you want 100% rubber, etc.? So that's why that Andre the Giant, when you it's firm. When you slap your hand with it, it hurts, right? Why it feels like it's so much harder. It's basically the same material that Big Rubber Guys uses on their figures. So, but that thing is a beast. I love that thing. I love the size of it. I love the fact that you could sit there and whoop somebody's ass with it. So that one's so much fun. Figures, and the owner is great. Yeah, Ahmad's pretty freaking awesome. He today he sent me an email or sent me a text message, and it's pretty damn cool because if you guys haven't seen it already, the Wrestling Giant series, they're coming out with a new card back. So generally you get a blue card back or a black card back. He's coming out with the yellow one, and it's pretty nice, right? And it's going to be for the 8-inch Macho Man figure in yellow. So I think he did this because he wanted to kind of give a special shout out to Hulk Hogan as well with the whole yellow back. Obviously with the yellow Mega Powers Macho Man doing, I told him like, look, we can have black and blue all day long, but changing up the card back color scheme, the way that you do the figure color scheme, that's amazing. I love that aspect. So I thought that was absolutely brilliant. So I think he and I share a lot of the same thought processes a lot of time when it comes to designing the figures. And it's not just, and figure design isn't just about the actual toy itself, right? It's about the poster design. It's about the card backing design. So all of it has to go into making this awesome piece. And that's why I'm excited about making my own line. Am I someone who's going to come out with like 5, 10, 20 different series with every series being like 5 characters? Probably not. Realistically, even if I were to say, hey, my action figures get produced, mass produced, and they all sell, I'm probably only looking at one series just to get those first 4 or 5 figures out with maybe one possibly thrown in as an additional bonus that nobody was expecting. I'll maybe the Tourette's guy from the 2000s. Doesn't cover wrestling. Nothing to do with this line whatsoever. But the action figure that Bone Breaking Action created for that, he didn't put it in a poster. He put it in one of his videos. I think he said he deleted that video because I tried going back and looking for that video because the insert of the picture of that figure was amazing. So maybe something like that could be like a kind of like a throw-in. I don't know the Tourette's guy. In that case, how would I reach out to him to get his consent to create this figure? Because otherwise, it would basically be a custom. It wouldn't be a legitimate release, which I will consider my line to be legitimate pieces, right? So, but someone like Random Treasures, how do they get away with releasing all these characters without WWE approval, without the characters' approval, because they're customs? You don't need that licensing agreement when they're customized figures. It's like if I were to take my LJN Roddy Piper Series 1 figure, well, maybe not me because I can't paint worth a shit, but let's say I were to paint him up and turn him into Bob Backlund. This Roddy Piper is now Bob Backlund, and I sold it on eBay or whatever. I couldn't be sued for that. It's a custom figure. So that's basically how they get away with that, right? So, and very smart businesswoman. I think putting customs in her name was brilliant for personal, so that she doesn't have to worry about getting sued. But I know people they ask me about that all the time whenever I recommend XOX Customs for their custom figures. they look into the business and they might come back to me like, hey, how is this business operating? Are they licensed figures, etc.? No, they're not licensed, but they make it work with they get past the red tape and they make it work. Luckily for me, I'm not doing wrestlers right now. There's a reason I wanted to start my collection with the YouTubers who cover wrestling. It's still wrestling related, and it's there are people that a lot of folks follow. Like there's like what 5,000 plus followers of New Age Revolution, right? I'm pretty sure a good chunk of those 5,000 people would love to have themselves a Jason Nupp action figure. So that was my thought process. Let's do something different, something that nobody else is doing. Using YouTubers, I thought was a unique idea. I mean, I can't take all the credit because it's been done before. Sal for Rush Collectibles, he had that Chris Van Vliet guy who was a YouTuber. Now, I wasn't thinking about that when I came up with this idea. So is it original to me? I guess. But is it an original thought altogether? Not really, because Rush Collectibles has already done something similar. But does that mean that I can't have another special appearance by someone in Series 1, like a Sinn Bodhi, for example? Possibly. Or maybe I will create a Series 2 and have Sinn Bodhi, maybe some additional folks here in Kentucky that I can reach out to see if they might be interested in having their own action figure. But I want these folks at Alibaba to stop screwing around so I can have a definitive answer. Can this figure be made? They keep wanting to 3D print the 3D files of it, but like you have your own designers, right? Why can't you have the pictures of what the figure looks like? You have the card backs, you have everything that you need because I've sent you pictures of what I'm looking for. Why can't you just take this design, go to your creator, have them 3D print it, whatever, so we can make the figures? Right now, the Jason Nupp glasses is what's giving them fits. See, they want it to be like literally built into the face, right? Whereas the one I got from, or I'm going to get from Sinn Bodhi, the glasses, they're built onto the rubber, right? But they're like kind of sticking out. So you can actually see that it's a second piece to the rubber. So I think that's amazing. So he wants me to get like a new 3D print to redo the glasses. But I just feel like that's way too much work, man. I'm like, look, I did my part. If I'm going to be paying you a substantial amount of money, what is going to be your contributions to the design of this figure? Ooh. I'm a little strange, dude. I'm a connoisseur to a figure collecting. I collect anywhere from Mattel to Hasbro's and also Funko Pops and Ninja Turtle characters and He-Man characters. Man, one day I would love to do a live stream in my second living room. Now, my wife, she won't let me touch the main living room, right? But the other living room that nobody really goes in, on the back wall, I really got to stop doing this because I'm destroying my house by doing this. But whatever, it brings me joy. I have all my hooks up on the walls, and now I'm using my action figures to kind of like wallpaper the back wall. And in that living room, I have an absolute tonnage of Ninja Turtles on both sides of the wall. Because I really didn't have anything in the middle section, I'm like, you know what? I got another set of, I guess they were like a Halloween era special real Ghostbusters. So I took those 4 figures plus the original 4 that I had, put those up as well. I'm sitting in that living room. I'm looking at this wall. I'm staring at this. I'm like, man, this stuff is so freaking cool. That doesn't even count the damn purple room right next door that has the whole wall plastered with Playmates, 2020s Turtles. But probably when I get my action figures back in from Sinn Bodhi, I'm probably going to move over to the purple room. So I kind of have like the extra toy room collection in the background. You guys know that room is about 1990s Fox Kids superheroes. So where the basement is all about wrestling, that room I wanted to turn something different. So it's got your Mystic Knights of Tir and your Big Bad Beetleborgs, your Power Rangers, your VR Troopers, your Masked Rider. And it's got a lot of horror stuff in there as well. My masks, my Nekatuni Terrors, the Funko Horror. That's got like Funko Mortal Kombat and Funko Street Fighter and Funko DC villains and superheroes, etc. So that's a fun line. The Funkos with their 5.5 Remco style bodies and everything. But the regular Funkos, the ones that are like yay big, I'm not a fan of those. I got quite a few of them, but I have them because like a lot of them are wrestling related, so they're added to the wrestling collection. BBI mentioned to me that, hey, you're starting your line. Why don't you do something simple like the vinyl Funko Pops? I mean, they could be it could be worthwhile. Because if you order 500 of those, but I don't think the viewer. I don't mean. How much could I sell those for? Because I think your general Funko Pop is like what, $5? So in order to make any kind of money, I'd have to sell them for like 20. And who the hell wants to buy random so and so for $20 for a Funko Pop? I mean, wrestling figures, actual LJNs with everything, the posters, the bubble, the card. Yeah, I could see someone paying $100 for that. If they will go to Ram Treasures, pay $130 to $150 for a custom figure with nothing else, just a figure, maybe an accessory if it has it. I could see someone paying $100 for my figure, which is cheaper and it has everything you need, right? So, but Funko might be possible eventually. Dude Love, yeah. Dude Love was what, late 90s, man? Like I didn't even know him as Dude Love. Cactus Jack in WCW way back when. Mick Foley, obviously, his name. Mankind is the one I'm probably most familiar with. Dude, man, that man has changed names like crazy. Dude Love. I think Dude Love was probably what, his worst gimmick. I mean, that's just my feeling on it. Just made it in time. How brilliant I am. Hey, baby, I'm pretty sure you're back at work by now, given the fact that it took me like half an hour to get to your question or your statement. So, but it was still good to have you, bud. I got to stick to wrestling figures, and even though only certain kinds of wrestlers, too many good figures out there. Yeah, man. That's another issue that I'm running into is like Hasbro is my favorite line. I want to create these Hasbro style figures, but like Hasbro will always be my number one favorite line. But when it comes to collecting, I think the LJNs have been the things I've enjoyed collecting the most. I got a million LJN customs, right? And even though I got an absolute ton of Hasbro customs, they cannot compare to my custom LJN wall. Not to mention the other areas that I have the excess that I can't fit on that wall, right? So, I think LJN has, like I said, it's been my favorite to collect, but they're still number 2 behind Hasbro's. Legion of Warriors, Road of Doom. Hey, sounds good to me. All right. My favorite WCW tag team was Mira Like Violence Connection. Dudes were badass. Yeah, WCW, like because my viewing of WCW was so limited to like this much in the early 90s, there really is only a handful of tag teams that I actually knew about. And I think I've already said them all. Legion of Doom, Nasty Boys, Steiner Brothers. Now, when I go back and I look at like original San Francisco Toymakers in like 94, Then they start coming out with guys like Harlem Heat. Okay, yeah, I guess Harlem Heat could be one of those teams for you if that was an era that you watch. But even though I was watching wrestling, I wasn't watching WCW, so I didn't know who Harlem Heat was. Among their original San Francisco action figures, and that's the thing I've said before, you can always be a fan of someone based on their toy. Like I probably liked Jimmy Snuka in real life in WWF, but his Jimmy Snuka action figure for Hasbro, which I had as a kid, we used it because we had it, but it was not an enjoyable playable figure. Brutus Beefcake Series 1, or however the heck he is, right? That pink jumper, I mean, it was terrible. I've talked about this before. When it came to Brutus Beefcake Series 1, as a kid, I just did not know how to use the figure. Like, not because I wasn't familiar with Brutus Beefcake, but because I literally, the toy, the positioning of the arm, it was just so bad. Like, how do you play with this? It's like if it's like driving it's like jumping into a car with the stick shift. You've been driving an automatic your whole life, and now you got to do a manual. Like, how do I get this into drive? How do I get, like, once I start driving off, why does the car keep shutting down on me? The first time I ever drove a stick shift was in Afghanistan in 2011. So I was like 26 years old when I finally learned how to drive a stick shift. I would love to drive a stick shift here just for fun, but like I wouldn't go out to a dealership and buy me a stick shift. I mean, too many red lights, and like I said, I still feel like I kind of suck, you know, when I move it from one gear to the next. So I'm like, nah. I mean, I could drive a stick shift, but I just I don't consider myself be professionally driven or whatever. So, and kind of like the same thing with this Jimmy Snuka figure. You know, the hands all like yeah, and the other one like yeah, like right, like stupid, right? It was just an unplayable, unenjoyable figure. Brutus Beefcake was another one. Just did not know how to play with those figures. Not because they were jumpers. I mean, forget the jumpers. The rockers were jumpers, and I used the hell out of the rockers. Marty Jannetty rockers for Hasbro was one of my favorites. But that kind of look over at original San Francisco, right? We were talking about them. We're talking about Harlem Heat. I love the Harlem Heat figures from original San Francisco. What's up?
I gotta go to bed soon.
You're going to bed soon?
We gotta go to bed soon. My dad's gonna crash on the couch.
You don't want to sleep in the bed up here?
Correct.
Okay. It's only 10:12, so I'm probably gonna be up for at least another hour.
Fine.
When are you going to bed?
Can you be available at 11 to do the babies?
That's about 48 minutes. Yes, I can.
Thank you.
I have you.
Love you.
What the hell was I talking about? Oh, Harlem Heat. I didn't watch Harlem Heat. I don't know anything about Harlem Heat. Well, I know very little about Harlem Heat now. Obviously, oh man, was the same guys that are like kind of like cursing out Hulk Hogan? Like they were doing like an interview, and one of the guys said something inappropriate, and he had like immediately like kind of like stick. I'm like that's just funny as hell, but. Like I am a fan of Harlem Heat because I like their original San Francisco action figures. They have that Greg Valentine LJN arm pose, right? One figure is like so, the other one's like so. Because they're hardened rubber like original Galoob, and they're taller figures like LJN, you got David Galoob and family when they came back and made original San Francisco, they did an excellent job. Those figures, they're probably the best figures from the line, from the original San Francisco line. So, may not be your favorite character, but it's definitely your favorite figures. Yeah, I've been sipping from that one cup for like the last 3 sips, and it's still like halfway full. It's such a bad taste, man. Fly, yeah, I'm a nut, laughing my effing ass off. All right. Matt and Demolition. You know what? I would love to get me a new LJN of myself made to look like LJ. Freaking tell me this, guys. TikTok. I don't post on TikTok. I really don't like TikTok, but whatever. I thought TikTok. I thought you start posting on TikTok that like, what is it? It's just scrolling through your phone. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, but here's a video I want to watch. No, bam, bam, bam. I thought that's all it was. So I thought like I was guaranteed like thousands, not tens, not dozens, not hundreds, literally thousands. I thought I was guaranteed thousands of views on a daily basis. Because what are people doing? They're just scrolling through, and if you come across that video, even if you don't watch it, I thought just by having it pop up on your phone or whatever, it would be an automatic view. I wasn't getting shit. I was getting shit views on TikTok. Like don't get anything for me. But ever since I started posting these shorts, I've been putting them on YouTube, of course, and I've been putting them also on TikTok. I think that's probably bringing some folks in, right? And that's helped me a whole lot. Recently, I had a Axe LJN demolition video review. I even had a Galoob UK exclusive Series 2 pink singlet Sid Vicious video. Showing off the action figures, talking about it. Both figures were flagged by TikTok for sexually explicit material. I mean, Axe is a sexy mug and everything, especially with that BDSM, chaps and everything on, but come on. It's a freaking review of a damn toy. And they blocked my freaking video. A few days later, they came back and did the exact same thing to my Sid Vicious. They deleted my video or blocked my video, whatever they did. I had to, both times I had to put in a request so that a live person could actually review the video and determine whether or not it's accepted or it went against community guidelines or not. So since then, both videos are up on TikTok and they have gotten a ton of views, comments, etc. But the fact that they blocked me for sexual content, where the fuck I forget what I said on there. I'm like, this is a freaking toy. What the hell is going on? It's a review video. I mean, goddamn, nobody's freaking fingering themselves with a damn action figure. Oh, I was so pissed off when I saw that Demolition Axe video got took down. I mean, like I said, it's up now, but Jesus, somebody's a little too anal. So bad. I think next week I'm going to open up the pineapple Fanta with Michael Myers on it. I got to find some way to kind of save that box because it looks super freaking cool. At least maybe that one section, but actually I kind of don't want to touch that at all because ever since I started collecting, I'm looking at everything as collectibles now. I'm looking at a case of pop as a collectible. How nuts is that? My wife bought me 2 of these. I probably won't drink the second one because it's a collectible. Like Jesus Christ, where has collecting these last 3 years really screwed up my mind that much that I'm looking even at a bottle of pop as freaking being a collectible item? What, am I gonna sell that? No. Drink it, you son of a gun. But my mind is so effed up right now. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. It's a collectible value. All right. I was never a huge Nasty Boys fan, but I'll still get the Big River guys. Nasty Boys, I love the Nasty Boys. Every time that they used to get guys in the corner, like make them smell their arm pads, that shit was hilarious. I love that. They were so damn gross, but they were so fun. And, they were a legitimate tag team that I could see putting down Legion of Doom to become champions, right? When you see teams like Nasty Boys, Legion of Doom, Natural Disasters go up against each other, yeah. You could see someone like Money Inc., holding their own against Natural Disasters, right? What happens? they're going to get up and they're going to roll out of the ring and leave the ring and leave natural disasters standing with their damn thumbs up their ass because, yeah, they won the match, but who cares? Sons of bitches were just counted out. That means they couldn't win the titles. I think that part of wrestling is so stupid that they should really change that aspect. Now, given I this stuff is scripted, right? So it's not like they lost the titles because so and so decided to walk away. That was scripted. That was part of the storyline. But you want to make this stuff any bit more, as realistic as possible. That's something I think they should change. I think any victory should be the change of titles. But I'm also a stickler for history. I'm a stickler for what's common and what's well known, right? That's why I hate moving. I'm set up. I'm established. The last thing I want to do is move somewhere else and have to pack everything up and reestablish myself, resituate myself. So would something like that bother me? They're talking baseball nowadays, and they're talking potentially adding 2 more expansion teams. You guys hear about that? 2 more expansion teams, giving you 32 major league ball clubs. Now it's supposed to take place. I think I heard 2027. I've heard 2032. I don't know when it's going to happen, but this is what they're talking about: 8 divisions with 4 teams in each division. So like, there won't be an American League anymore. There won't be a National League anymore. And let's say the Cubs division. The Cubs division will be the White Sox, the Cubs, let's say Cardinals and Royals, or something like that. First off, I absolutely hate it. I hate that on so many freaking levels. For starters, 30 teams. I think 30 teams is a nice round number. So it's fine to keep it where it is. You could even get rid of a couple teams. I don't care. I mean, since I've had like Arizona Diamondbacks and Tampa Bay Rays the last 27 years, 28 if you count the 98 season, their inaugural season. So, yeah, I'd keep it where it is. I wouldn't want any team to go away, but you really don't need any more professional teams. That's one thing. Number 2, it's never in a million years going to happen, but the possibility is there, and that's important. The possibility of a Cubs versus White Sox World Series. Hell, the possibility of a Giants versus Angels World Series. It's already happened in 2002, right? How about a Yankees Mets World Series? That too has happened, 2000. The point is, you don't want to put Mets and Yankees in the same division, Cubs, White Sox in the same division, because it means one of your teams are going to win and the other team is going home for the season. And with an American League and National League, let's say both Cubs and White Sox both do exceptionally well, make it to the playoffs, win every single division they need to, wild card, division, or championship series, and they're both in the World Series. It gives you the opportunity to have at least one Chicago team to celebrate, right? With this new layout, I hate it because that takes that option away. Yeah, it's going to give you more Cubs versus White Sox, which I always love. No matter how bad the White Sox are, I still love Cubs versus White Sox games. Getting rid of the Brewers might be a good time because damn Brewers can never lose, and it seems like every year they're damn division champions. I mean, back in the day when you used to freaking hate the Cardinals because they were the go-to team every season. But now, like, the Brewers are just dominating. They got like a $70 million payroll. The Cubs got like a $210 million payroll. And the Cubs probably won't win 90 games this year, while the Brewers are probably going to win like 100. Money can't always buy championships. But you know what? The Los Angeles Dodgers next season, they're going to try adding another one. They're going to try taking Kyle Tucker from the Cubs. They're going to give him $400-500 million. And Kyle Tucker, the first couple seasons or first couple months, he was well worth it. A good $20-25 million a year. But since then, shit. I'd be surprised if he signs a 1-year, $10 million deal. That's how bad he's been. But no, the Dodgers, they'll give him $400-500 million over the course of 7 to 13 years. And, money doesn't guarantee, buying a World Series, buying your players, it doesn't guarantee that you're actually going to make it. I mean, look at the Dodgers this season. They got multiple guys with like $400 or $500 contracts, $5 million contracts. Shohei Ohtani is worth like what, $700 million? A lot of their other guys, I mean, they're hundreds of millions, and they're trash this season. I love baseball. I love talking baseball. I really should do this on a more consistent basis, but I know people want to come in and tune in for the wrestling content because that's what this channel is mostly known for, right? I've always said this from like day one. This channel was never intended to be a collection channel or a wrestling channel. It just so happens that's what I enjoyed doing the most. The videos I enjoyed making the most. So that just happens where it just kind of went. But I think when I decided to make this channel, and the very first set of 26 or 27 episodes that I had was my favorite LJN tournament. I pretty much solidified my channel's identity at that point. Alrighty. Man, what was Haku and Barbarian's tag team name again? I wish they went longer than they did. Haku and Barbarian. Shoot, I gotta look that up. I didn't even know Haku and Barbarian were even tag teams. I gotta look that up because now I'm curious. Faces of Fear. Oh, is that WCW? That's probably why. So WCW, they're called Faces of Fear. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, that explains why I didn't know why they were tag teams in WWF, because they probably weren't. Yeah, last tag team I knew about Haku was freaking Colossal Connection with Andre. I always get freaking tongue-tied like crazy. All right. Never liked the Rockers, but I was a kid and they were booked to lose a lot. Hey, they were booked to lose. I don't know, man. Like when I was a kid, I hardly ever saw them lose. But it is funny as hell that Vince McMahon steals them away from the AWA, and they were part of WWF for like a day, and then they were fired. Got into like a damn a brawl or something at a damn bar, and then later on, what they do? They went back to AWA, dominated some more, and about a year or so later, Vince McMahon brings them back to WWF, and they were superstars. Like I said, they highlighted every freaking pay-per-view known to man, and they were always winning. Oh, so bad. Oh. Shit, I almost drank half that damn jar already. Crazy. You collect any Japan or Mexican related wrestling figures like the Charpro or Killian? I don't know what that says. AAA lines. So the Killian ones. So I don't collect any foreign wrestlers per se. There is this one set. I call them bootleg figures. I don't know if they really are bootleg, but they're about, I don't know, what is that, 10 inches? So they're about 10 inches big, and they come in these boxes. And if you've seen the Star, how are they called? Star, damn it, I lost me. but the Star something as the name of name of the brand of figures. Well, these figures come in like the very similar packaging, and it actually has Hulk Hogan, and I think Iron Sheik on the cover or on the back of the box. And inside, you have like a little Hulk Hogan bootleg. You have an Ultimate Warrior bootleg. You have one that looks like freaking Guile from Street Fighter, or maybe the Russian from Rocky. There's another character that looks like Sting. There's a couple of them that look like Ray Mysterio with the mask and everything. So I have a bunch of those figures loose in cart and in box. I also have a few of those guys in little 4-inch, 5-inch. I'm gonna say 4.5 inch Hasbro esque style. I think they're made like rubber or something. So I do have some of those particular types. I don't think those are Japanese though. I mean, they could be. The Killian figures, I know what the Killians are because those things are like 6 or 7 inches tall, and those look really good. But I haven't collected those. Now you think my collection is so damn vast that I always said I collect a little bit of everything, but I don't know. I just haven't gotten into those. My buddy, Wrestling Rider, he had a bunch of those up for sale too. I think Nate over at Ohio Figures, I think he usually sells some on auction. I don't know if they ever sell because whenever I was looking at his page, I always saw them available. So it might be something I want to pick up, but I'd have to get some carded before I get any loose figures. Because to me, it's always important to have at least one carded figure. That way you kind of know, look at the back of the card and see, hey, these are who else has been released and who else you need. So that's a huge help, right? Road Warriors debut in 1983 and Demolition debut in 1987. Rick, yep. And that's why it kind of drove me nuts whenever fans were like, Demolition or Legion of Doom was rip off of Demolition. I'm like, no, they weren't. I think Vince McMahon created Demolition for the sole purpose of turning them into their brand of Road Warriors because they couldn't get Road Warriors to join the corporation. And then later on, when they joined the company, you had basically two identical tag teams. But, Powers of Pain could really thrust into that discussion as well, right? So, I mean, they had their own face paint, and they were like this brute power force as well. So, I never list Powers of Pain among my favorite tag teams ever, but they definitely deserve to be up there. Probably in the top 10. I mean, Barbarian's fantastic, and of course, I knew Warlord a whole lot more because Warlord in the 90s, I think Hasbro era, chest plate, head covering, whatever. All right. Honorable mention for Harlem Heat. Yeah. I got to think back on my original San Francisco collection. Think about the tag team sets. And so I think there was like a Hogan and a Rodman tag team set. I think there was a couple different variants of Hogan and Sting on 2-pack. Other 2-packs, I mean, they really only consisted of the Nasty Boys. Nasty Boys came in single card. They come in a tag team card. In green, in orange, in black. Didn't matter. Harlem Heat, I think, were the only other legitimate tag team. Navy blue, red, purple, and the more common black. But damn, that was a good set. I loved all of those figures from Harlem Heat. They're all the exact same figure. They just change out the singlet color, but those were good pieces to have, and they're all valuable too. I don't know if it was the red or the blue that I got from Harlem Heat. It was the last one I picked up, and it was like the most expensive, probably a couple $100 worth. I don't know if the money still holds true to this day, but still some of my the best figures, I think. All right. Irish, good looking out for him, buddy. Ranky and you are the only ones I. That's awesome, bud. All right. 92 Royal Rumble better than any other Rumble? Hell yeah. I mean, freaking 92. If you think about Royal Rumbles in general, I think the first 5 or 6 were absolutely phenomenal. And then in the mid 90s, it started kind of going downhill. 94, like I said, with Diesel, I didn't mind Diesel. I mean, I love the fact that he was this dynamic force, right? And he's the kind of guy, the right size to kind of throw out everybody that comes in. But it got boring as hell. And who won that 94 Rumble? 94. See, Yokozuna was 93. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels was 95 and 96. So 94 was. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Oh, Bret Hart and Lex Luger. Damn. I knew it was a freaking like obvious answer, and like I was having a trouble like crazy trying to figure out who the hell won 94. Luger and Bret Hart. I still say Bret Hart, man, is my champion, but oh, that is so bad. Oh. Sheldon Cooper on Big Bang Theory, he's like, grape juice that burns. And all I could think drinking this is, strawberry milk that burns. Had to rip off Sheldon Cooper for a little bit. It is. It's freaking strawberry milk, but it's got that nasty taste to it. Ugh. I mean, like I said, it's drinkable, but it's ugh. Like you need the chaser. But we got down to here. So what is that? 40%? 40% gone. So smoke break over later. Stone Cold is a badass what? He throws them all out what? I must not, I must not have watched wrestling a lot in that late 90s because that whole what thing, like that wasn't, I wasn't watching wrestling during that or in elementary school in the late 90s. When kids started coming to school and doing the whole, I'm like, oh my God, you figure people look ridiculous. The whole Degeneration X thing. My younger sister, Pam, I wanted to beat her fucking ass. Again, excuse my language, but I wanted to beat her damn ass every freaking time. Like, she used to do that to my grandmother, but instead of doing that, she went like this near her parents, right? Basically telling my grandmother to eat it. I'm like, you're a horrible person. My grandmother at this time was like 70 goddamn years old. And she's a freaking queen, and you're goddamn disrespecting my grandmother. Who the hell do you think you are? I love my grandma, man. I know it's another sidetrack, but goddamn. My grandma, whenever she got her pension, whenever she got paid, like it would just be her and me in the house. I had no life. I know a whole lot has changed since teenage years, right? So like I'd be in my back room where I always am watching my TV, right? My grandmother would come into my back room very sneakily. Grandma, we're literally the only two people in the house. What are you doing? But she would sneak in my back room and slide a $20 bill into my hand and scurry away. Oh my God. My grandma's so freaking awesome, man. She always from childhood, from being a baby, and she always took care of us. And that right there, that was just so cute, so adorable. That's one of my fondest memories. Of course, I also have my grandmother to thank for this, which I know you guys can't see, but I mean it's pretty much faded off. But it's like this far, about this high. It's a coffee burn. When I was about 4, 5 ish or something, I don't know. We're like Dunkin' Donuts or something, and this was back in the day when you didn't have to wear seatbelts and shit. And so I jumped in the car. I was sitting on my grandmother's lap, and I guess she lifted her leg and knocked the cup of coffee off the side of the door and burned me. I remember this part being really blistered up really bad, but I mean you can still see it if you look closely enough. But like from a distance, you can't make anything out. But it's like a little coffee burn right there. But damn, being 35 years old or what have you, I mean, this damn thing's the fact that you can still see it somewhat. Burns don't freaking heal worth the damn. But yeah, my damn fucking sister, she used to do that shit to my grandmother, because my grandma hated her and she hated my grandma. I'm like, who the hell's gonna like you or respect you the way you treat her, right? And she used to always do that crap to my grandma. I'm like, I want to whip my sister's ass. And I guess it's one of those reasons why, even to this day, I still don't have a good relationship with her. Like, I care. Like, my sister has like a bunch of kids now, apparently. I didn't know about any of them. Well, thanks for keeping the family in the loop, right? That's okay. Not really interested, anyways. Oh, damn. 92 Royal Rumble. Where did I go with that? I love that 92 Rumble because it's still my favorite. 92 will always be my favorite Rumble, followed by 1990. But it sucks that Ric Flair was the winner of that Rumble. But man, I tell you, I think every single participant in that Rumble was legendary. There weren't just, some ram throw-ins. I thought maybe someone like who would be a good example? Like a Carlos Colon, maybe. I thought Carlos Colon was in the 92 Rumble, but apparently he was in 93. So I'm off a year on that one. But every single person is like Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage type, big, massive superstars. I love that aspect. I don't think any other Rumble was even close to that. Maybe 88, 89 might be the closest. Come downstairs. We're going to watch Storage Wars. Man, I haven't watched Storage Wars in forever. Thanks for letting me know, Brainy. My smoke is all right. Just saying. Kane had a Monster Run 2 in the Rumble. Shoot. I don't think Kane even won a Royal Rumble. Did he? Like, I barely think Undertaker. Undertaker, I think, won one of them. Maybe two, but I think just one. I don't think Kane ever won. And that's disappointing because I think Kane has like the number one most eliminations ever. Or maybe someone like Roman Reigns might have passed him up. So maybe he's like number 2. I don't know. But you come in, you throw out like 10 people, and then you're eliminated like a few minutes later. Like, damn. I hate that. You kind of feel like, it's a waste of work. Is there a YouTube LJN guy named Hebro? Hebro. If there is, there's not anyone I'm familiar with. I hit the down button. Now I got all the way to the very bottom. Now I got to backtrack. God, I hate doing this. There we go. I had the LJN British Bulldogs with the tag team championships. Shoot, man. I'm so ticked off that the LJN 2-pack that I bought last year before, cost me like $300 on eBay. I didn't realize, like, I saw the pictures. I knew exactly what was being offered for that auction, but like I was so stupid and such in had such excitement about potentially winning a tag team British Bulldogs new in package that I didn't realize that the plastic insert was missing. So all I got was the box, the poster, and the two figures with belts. Well, I already had the poster, so I mean the poster was unnecessary, right? But that insert, I had to go through a guy named Den. I think it's Den81, DENN81, if I'm not mistaken, on eBay, and he takes these big foam pieces, and he cuts out the insides so that you can insert your action figures and slide them into the box. So now my British Bulldogs are technically complete because instead of a plastic insert, it's got a foam insert that the figures and belts can sit inside. But yeah, $300+ on something that wasn't even complete. That hurt. So basically, I just spent $300 on a box essentially. That's how I viewed it. But ever since I got that custom foam insert, it makes all the difference. Now the guys are stationary; they don't move. Looks awesome. All right. You drunk yet? I think I read that. Not yet. It's weird. I've been drinking like for what is it? 2 hours? Holy crap! We've almost been on this thing for 3 hours, and I still have not reached drunk status. You know what that means? 115 proof. Hopefully, mixing it in with this other cup won't be too bad. Damn, dude, go wash that out first. Too late. Wow. Oh, everything burns. My eyes are tearing up. My throat burns. My nostril up here burns. My mouth feels like it's on fire. Oh, that stuff is way too much. I'm telling you, man, that's good stuff, though. You want a drink that's going to make you pass out in no time? The straight bourbon whiskey from Woodinville. I highly recommend this crap, man. Like I said, I listen to my voice. Like I'm already feeling the effects. I think another sip or two, and I gotta tap out. All right. I didn't go to college or finish school, and I am a genius in the real world. Champion. Can I challenge for that heavyweight title? Is that belt that you presented on your video this morning, is that one up for grabs? All right. Hey Jordan, I appreciate it, bud. Yeah, man. I Army 6 years, got out in 2010. Once I got out in 2010, I went straight into contracting. So the job I had set up for Kuwait, I was basically supposed to go right after I left, got out of the Army, but what was it? What the hell was the reason? Because I got out of the Army in May of 2010. I didn't deploy until like the end of July of 2010. So my wife and I, we packed up and we drove back to Chicago, and we were staying with her mom for those couple months. I'm trying to think what was it? I know I definitely had to get like a background check completed, and I'm like, okay, you're the company. Why are you not getting the background checks done? But no, I had to like go downtown and get fingerprinted. I'll do all stuff and send out that document that they send you in the mail. basically saying, hey, there's no criminal activity pending against you, whatever. So yeah, I started Kuwait in 2010, and when I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, I'm making double the money in Kuwait that I was making as a soldier. But in reality, if I should have looked at it any other way, I'm like, okay, as a soldier, you're making about $2,000 a month. In Kuwait, I was making about 3,500 a month, uh, based on 60-hour work week, maybe a 60-hour work week this week, maybe a 48-hour work week the next week, depending on whether or not there's overtime. Because Kuwait, a standard work day or standard work week is 48 hours, not 40. And so every other week we had overtime. So it normally got us up to about 60 hours. Also, the last 3.5 years I was in the Army. I lived on post. My wife and I, we lived in family housing. We didn't have to pay for mortgage. We didn't have to pay for electricity or water or trash pickup. If something broke in the house, we call up housing. Hey, there's a hole in the wall, or the faucet's leaking, or whatever. I mean, whatever's the issue is, right? And Fort Hood back at that time, I think $957 a month was the BAH. So if that was your basic allowance for housing, your basic allowance for substance was like it was $323. So that's like $1,200 right there. So $1,200 plus your $2,000 base pay after taxes. So in reality, I was making about $3,300 a month in the Army. But I only looked at it as 2,000 because I lived in housing and I didn't get that extra that extra income from that BH. So when I got there, I'm like, okay, I'm making almost twice as much. I really wasn't. And Combat Support Associates, I mean, CSA ran Kuwait for like since the 1990s and up until 2010, 2011, and then General Dynamics took over the contract. But that company had their contracts for like all over Kuwait for like 20 years, man. But they just do not pay their employees well at all. And we're talking American soldiers or American employees. We had guys from India that was work, and they only got paid like once a month. And some of these guys were like college professors, and I don't know, good quality, high paying, or good quality college degrees and stuff, right? Good jobs, but they chose to come to Kuwait because manual labor in Kuwait for $500 a month was more money than they would make in their country. So I'm like, that's that's really messed up. One day, when one of the employees asked me how much do I make, I'm like, $3,500, and he calculated that into his phone to see what that was in rupees, which was like, I don't know, 12 million rupees, or I don't know, some large number. And the look on their face, like they were pissed. They were like infuriating at how much American employees are making. But you also got to realize $3,500 a month for an American really isn't a ton of money. Now, $500 a month for an Indian employee, it really is a lot of money because you could be a college professor, you could be making like, I don't know what it translates to rupees, but in US dollars, yeah, it's probably maybe a few $100. So they're definitely banking on that $500. So to me, looking at that, yeah, it doesn't look like they're earning anything. But to them, to the Eastern employees, I'm pretty sure they freaking loved every minute of that. That's why these guys, they stay on those contracts for 5, 10, 15 years. They only go home to their families when it's their time for leave. Yeah, I didn't really start earning a lot of money not until I got to Afghanistan. And today, I think, well, Afghanistan is no longer a viable option. But if you go to like Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, I mean, you're probably going to be in like the $85,000 a year range. So, I mean, would that even be worth it to leave my house, my wife, my the living I'm accustomed to for 80 grand a year. I mean, at this point, someone could offer me a job like back at Raytheon for $80,000 a year. I probably wouldn't take it. And with Raytheon, I'm home at 4:30 every day, and I have every other Friday off, plus my weekends, of course, and the best insurance on the planet. So, I mean, it would be worth it, but like, there's a difference between being home and being able to just enjoy your life and being at work, right? So that's why when I came home after I left Syria, it's why it was important for me to be like, hey, I'm retired now. I got hurt multiple times this last couple of years. Physically, I really shouldn't be here anymore, and mentally drained, physically drained over being deployed for over 10 years. It's a lot that I gave up. And I've always said, you know what? Yes, I am giving up the best years of my life working in a combat zone. But the idea was to earn enough money while I was gone that I can enjoy my later years. And that's what I'm trying to do now. So, yeah, I couldn't do it without the Army, man. Uh, I'm grateful for my service, of course. Always give special thanks to any service member. But oh, that was a lot to take in. Jordan, thank you so much for that, of course. That's effed up. I would have helped her. Yeah, I mean, you're probably talking about the girl, Irina Zarutska. Yeah, that just shows you how far back I am on these comments. Yo, you're not hammered yet? Jason, what? I actually have the New 80s Revolution on my live stream. How awesome is that? I don't think I've ever seen Jason in one of my live streams. It's about time. You know what? That's a special occasion. Let's do a shout out to Jay Nupp. Oh God, this one's gonna kill me. 257. Oh crap. My wife wanted me at 11 o'clock. And that's gonna be in a few minutes. Yeah, it burns. I don't care what anybody says. This has not been a 3-hour live stream. That clock is wrong. That time in the corner is wrong. This has not been no 3 hours. I have not been talking for 3 hours. Oh, wow. Whoa, doggy. Yeah. Wow. Whoa. Now I'm having visuals. Not good. Leah says Hogan died of malpractice, surgery botch. Corey, damn, are you serious, man? Oh, that's bullshit. Damn. I think the same damn shit happened with MJ back in 2009. If the freaking doctor that was with him actually did his job correctly, MJ could have survived. Oh, man, that last drink, man. Oh, my head is spinning. Start the questions from the beginning. Start the questions from the beginning. Ross, yes. Just yes. I think, you really can't do that, though, because as you're talking over time, things come up and then people want to know more. And then they'll have follow-up questions to what you're saying. So if someone just simply had a bunch of questions and you just sit there answering it, it wouldn't be a live stream per se. It would be a Q&A session. But hey, next week, or even if you want to send me an email or send me a YouTube message or something, if you got questions, hell, I'll write them down, and I'm more than happy to kind of do like a full Q&A with you guys on live streams. That's cool. That works for me. So G&G too expensive nowadays. Man, I love grapplers and gimmicks. I do. But I don't know what's going on with Mitch as far as response. His response is not as bad as Zombie Sailors, but he will not respond to general inquiries, which really sucks. My buddy Kirk, he pointed something out to me, which I thought was amazing. I don't know if you guys are familiar. The Damien Demento figure, if you look at the card, and I didn't notice it, Kirk actually pointed out to me that it came with a Papa Shango, name right there, where at the bottom of the left hand side, or if you're facing it, it's gonna be the bottom right side of the card. It said Papa Shango, and so he just reached out to Mitch and like, hey, I had a question about this right here. No response, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what Grapples and Gimmicks is about. You don't really get those sort of responses. I know it's 11. Are you trying to go to bed now, or are you trying to feed the cats? What?
I'm feeding the cats, and then I'm gonna go straight to bed.
When are you feeding cats?
The phone is heating up now, so can you end your live stream?
I can. How much longer until it's done?
Like 3 minutes.
5 minutes.
Like 3 minutes.
All right, I'll try my best. All right, guys. At 3 hours plus, I think I'm gonna have to end the live stream. My wife needs help with the feeding the babies, and I might have to get going. But as far as G&G, doesn't respond to emails or to inquiries, and the prices of figures keep going up. Like $40 was expensive as hell, but now that it's like $55 for this figure, $60 for that figure, $70 for that. I'm like, come on, you got to slow your roll. They're not that imperative. They're not so life altering that you need to charge twice as much on your figures, which were already overly priced. Zombie Sailors, Grapples and Gimmicks, even Wrestle Something Wrestlers, which I love. These should all be like $20 figures. If Mattel is charging $15 for their figures, you can go in about $20, $25. That way you can still earn a profit while still allowing your fans enough funds left over to buy other things. $40 is insane. And when you're starting to double the prices, like these diesel figures, no, you're gonna cause more harm than good, because your fans are gonna stop buying from you. But that's where we are right there. Like with Amazon, you still got to do the math at warehouse clubs. Yeah. Pretty much. I will probably not go to Sam's Club. I don't want to say ever again. It won't be on like my monthly shopping list. We'll probably still get groceries delivered from Walmart, or we'll go to like Kroger or something and go grocery shopping. But I hate Walmart. I do. Oh my God. But I mean, a grocery store is a grocery store, and Walmart is just groceries. So I could live with that. I'm at work. I was talking cigarette break, but I appreciate the smoke. Oh, man. I don't know if BBA is going to watch this video later on, but I was watching his last live show a couple days ago, and he's in Colorado, so he's like a few hours behind us on the East Coast. It's weird to think Kentucky being East Coast, because if you go south Kentucky, it becomes Central Time Zone, and I've been Central Time Zone my entire life until I moved to Louisville. But Louisville is like right at the top of Kentucky, so it's Eastern Time Zone. And I made it to about 3 a.m. I opened my eye. I kind of fell asleep. I opened my eyes, and his show was over. It was still running on my cell phone though, so I don't know if it was still actively going. But it was pretty damn interesting, man. Like, I'm like, maybe, yeah, you're drunk as hell. I love it. Why am I not drinking with you? No, it was a good show though. It was an excellent show. Um, Guys like Bone Breaking Action, Kirk's Corner. I mean, I'd love to see those guys go live more often. So, a few other guys like our Irish Rebel and our RWO Wrestling. I want to see what those guys, well, especially Rick. I want to see what he's got to say in a full video, full live stream. I think that's gonna be super incredibly fun. So, yeah, I'm really getting drunk now, guys. And with the 3 minutes up, I need to sign off. Hope he reads it soon. To start trying to find Tourette's guy, he'd have to go for it. Yeah. All right, I'm trying to go through these comments real fast so that I don't miss anybody. Don't get me started on Rush. What the That's it. I would always got in trouble for just wearing a New World. I'm just heating up now. Until I do the cost. Good night, everyone. I can only get Walmart delivered. Yeah, we get all of our groceries delivered most of the time. I mean, I'd rather go in person to pick that stuff up, but my wife insists that she can't do it unless it's delivered. Whatevs. But guys, I think I got all the comments now. Jesus. Unless I fast forwarded through something. Yeah, I think I may have fast forwarded through some stuff. No, I didn't. I went too far back. Jesus, what am I doing? I'm all over the place, guys. I think that was it. Yeah, that's it, though, guys. All right. 3+ hours in. Thank you, Internet, for holding up and not canceling on us. Because I swear to God, I don't care if it was 20 minutes in or 1 hour in. If the Internet dicked out on me again, I was not coming back for a second video. Guys, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in and allowing me to spew my spew. I know some folks out there don't want to hear about the whole Charlie Kirk situation, stuff like that, but either way, it was a good talking point, and I really appreciate everyone tuning in for this week's live stream. So next week, hopefully we'll have something good to talk about, and if we get the figures in that I'm looking for, that's basically going to be the whole episode. So, yeah, maybe we'll do a earlier in the week, possibly, but we'll see what happens. If you guys are interested in more than one live stream, let me know. I will contemplate doing this 2 or 3 times a week if necessary. But for now, Saturdays will always be our live stream day. So, guys, thanks again. I am signing off here, and I will talk to you guys in the comments. Thanks, everybody.